I mean, dude scored 70.
70.
Joel Embiid scored 70 last night.
Well, that's crazy.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was so crazy. I mean, did you see Kevin Durant's reaction to Embiid scoring 70 last night? Kevin Durant.
I don't know if you saw Joel Embiid score 70. Cat had 60.
70?
Yeah, Joel had 70 today.
58 through 3.
Yeah. He has 70?
Yeah. So what did nights like tonight mean in the NBA?
That's 70.
One thing to see is hear his reaction. It's another to go see the video. And again, you know, I was saying yesterday, Embiid on the Underdog Fantasy app, higher, lower, 35.5. If you took higher, you didn't have to pay for lunch today, if you know what I mean.
Well, and you didn't have to worry about it too much. He had 30, I think, at halftime or even before that.
Dude, it was
crazy.
It was insane. Although, can we bitch a little?
Of course we can. Isn't that what we do here?
Speaking of buying lunch, so we were at a breakfast this morning with the Valero Texas Open. And Corey Connors, the defending champion, is going to join us in about 30 minutes. He's going to call in. So we were out there, went to the breakfast, the press conference, all that kind of stuff. But he's going to call in a bit. But we had breakfast. Well, neither one of us had lunch.
No.
Because we had a big breakfast at 9:45, 10 o'clock. Well,
it was a breakfast. I wouldn't say it was a big breakfast.
All right. I mean, it was bacon, eggs, potatoes, breakfast.
Okay.
Right?
But
we didn't eat lunch. And get to the office, Kevin Brock's like, well, I mean, I'm going over here. Well, cool, man. You're going to Bojangles. Bring some food.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is he bringing food?
No.
What do you mean, no?
I just can only read the text message.
Man.
So now our lunch plans have really changed.
I guess it's Cheez-Its.
I've got some peanut butter crackers in
I
the
don't want
office,
peanut
but
butter
you don't eat peanut
crackers.
butter because you're non-American, apparently.
There's some Cheez-Its in there. I'll go snag.
Some Cheez-Its, I know, a Snickers bar.
Wow.
Something.
This
is on Kevin Brock.
I want to know what the excuse is, Brock.
It's raining. I don't know if that's the excuse or not. Is it still raining?
It's a nasty day outside.
We're in a room with no windows.
Yeah, it's not a good day. Not at all. Especially for Adrian Griffin.
It's a bad day and again, the why of it. I mean, and I'll ask this in all. I mean, Milwaukee is 30-13.
Yeah,
they've won 2 in a row, 6-4. Their defense hasn't been great, but I mean, they're still good. The Spurs have 8 wins, and we're fine. We're laughing at somebody that scored 70 on us.
We're having a great time.
And I say Pop last night after the game, and maybe some guy drops 70 on you, kicks your ass. Sometimes all you can do is laugh about it. I was more mad at Spurs Twitter, though. Dude, we only lost by 10.
I know it. It was crazy.
Why are we celebrating that?
I saw one guy. I'm really pleased with the effort of the fellows tonight. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, not only they lose by 10, and I guess that's where we're at right now. It's the deficit that the team loses by that makes all the difference in the world, apparently. But you allowed a guy to score 70 on you. Nobody had an answer for Embiid. And not too many people do, but he certainly doesn't score 70 every night.
Well, and then the jokes before the game that Pop had of, whatever he said about Wemby was going to, I don't know. I forgot the terminology. What did Pop say before the game?
We're going to hammer his ass.
Yeah. That worked out.
To stick him, put your butt right in his stomach, back him down over the rim, and just throw him through the rim. That's what you can look forward to tonight.
I think Pop knew what was coming.
Don't tell Wemby.
There's no way you know 70 is coming.
Well,
70.
I mean, I think that's the man that sounded like he knew he had no answer and somebody was going to get MVP from a game in January.
70 points. Every time Embiid touched the ball, he scored. I mean, it was just like it was just playing in his driveway.
Well, I mean, yes. Watching the game though, and I'm trying to think at what point was I just watching in awe of. I wasn't mad that he was doing that against my team. You're watching what you know is a special performance. It just happened to be against our team. And Dan Weiss and Sean Elliott on the broadcast, I think also got caught up in the moment of what are we watching? Because, there was a point where I thought he might, on the day that Kobe scored 81, might get to 81. Would he get to 90? Could this dude actually get to 100? And he could have, I think, if he wanted to.
If he wanted to, he could have. I mean, there was nobody giving him any grief at all. No, there was not even a speed bump in his way.
But at some point in the game last night, I quit watching the Spurs, and I'm watching Joel Embiid just go to work. And as a basketball fan, you're watching that and discarding the fact that he's doing that to my team, which generally when I see somebody having a night like that against the Spurs, I'm mad at everybody. I'm mad at that dude, and I'm mad at the Spurs. And last night, and it wasn't because the Spurs were hanging in there. I never felt like San Antonio had a chance to win.
Down.
Well, they only lost by 10.
They only lost by 10.
I mean, and we celebrate that,
which
pisses me off.
We celebrate it. I mean, I was really pleased with the fellas last night or tonight. Whenever I saw that tweet, and I believe that tweet going, "You got to be kidding me!" That's what we've come to. We only lost by 10. Guy had a career night, but we only lost by 10. Let's drive down and honk the horns and hold up traffic.
I mean, let's get down to Commerce Street. Why not? Because when some guy drops 70 on you and you only lose by 10, you get cupcakes and ice cream instead of a full cake, apparently.
Well, apparently. Why not? I mean,
let's go get some cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. Let's celebrate.
Wow.
I heard Jim's is back open up there in Philadelphia.
Oh, is that right?
Different location, but it's apparently the same family. So I'm excited about a return trip to Philadelphia.
But when's that going to happen?
I don't know. The next Army-Navy game in Philly. 3 years.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah. Well, it's enough time for them to get enough grease built up on that grill.
I just, man, it just, the whole thing baffles me. And look, I get it. And, Pled's chiming in like we're all babies. We're not used to a rebuild. I'd be okay with a rebuild if I saw something.
Well, I mean, you live off of 1604, right?
Yeah.
Feels like 1604 has been in construction since I moved off of there, right? They tell me there's progress being made. And every now and then they change some cones around, but it doesn't feel like it's any closer to being done.
I don't know.
That's like the Spurs rebuild.
Those really tall things that are going up over there. And some of those things are way the hell up there.
They're called flyovers for a reason.
Yeah, well, dude, you're like 10,000 feet. You can turn on your computer when you drive over that thing.
I don't think it's that high.
It's way the hell up there.
I mean, it is. It is. I mean, they're called flyovers for a reason. And I see that they're getting that, but the lanes that I'm stuck in are still stuck, right?
Dude, that's the other thing. They don't fix where the other one was.
No.
I hit a pothole the other day and it's like, bam!
Yeah, bam!
I was like, man.
Did I hit
whatever?
There's a pothole near Blanco at 1604 that I hit. And it scraped my rim.
Really?
Yeah. I'm mad. Like, because, it's like, what'd you hit? Like, that had to be from that pothole. I can't prove it, but
did it screw up your car?
No, I mean, my rim's got a blemish. Not happy with that.
Now, see, you should have gotten the tire thing.
Well, I have the tire insurance.
You're making fun of me for having that, and now you need it.
Well, no, it's I understand how it works. You think you get a free tire for $50. See, a free and $50 are two different things. You've got a deductible on that. You've also paid to have that insurance. I will do it. But the other day when I was at the wash tub, the guy asked me, "What'd you hit?" He thought I hit a deer or something. And I was like, dude, it must be from that pothole. I didn't know it was there. So it's just kind of new. It's bothering me.
Just show me some progress.
With the Spurs, they only lost by 10.
So that's progress?
Well, yes. That is progress.
That's progress.
They were competitive last night, Joe.
They were?
Well, yes.
I don't think Joel Embiid would think that.
Oh, well, I mean, their idea was let Joel eat and we'll stop everybody else.
Is that what they did?
And it worked.
Okay. Well, if that was the game plan, it worked to a perfection.
He scored 70 last night.
Right. We let him eat and shut everybody else down. So let's see. He scores 70. The Sixers end up with 133. So that means somebody else scored 63 points. Just simple math.
Just simple math.
There were other guys.
But we only lost by 10.
Only by 10.
We're celebrating that today.
I think we should. Why not? Spurs open up a 7-game homestand beginning tomorrow night.
That's right.
We can celebrate that.
And I see the NBA's promoting rivalry week.
Really?
What the hell does that mean for San Antonio?
Is it supposed to be something with OKC?
Well, I mean, that was going to be on ABC. Now it's not. Because the Spurs just have to keep within shouting distance.
Is that all they have to do?
I think that's the phrase you have used a couple of times.
Well, I have used it, but not that they have to. I said they did. So I guess they stayed within shouting distance.
Isn't that you and your Sports Center update celebrating that they were close?
No, I'm not celebrating at all.
Well, they stayed within shouting distance.
It's a little sarcasm.
It sounds
involved.
Encouraging, my friend.
Sarcasm.
Yes, stay within shouting distance.
Jeez. Sarcasm.
A lot of sarcasm coming out of Dallas, or is there?
Wow.
The family feud of players, family members talking. We didn't really get into it much yesterday because, well, we were talking more about football and out-of-bounds rules.
And guess what? It's all directed at number 4.
Well, of course it is.
Yes.
He's the quarterback.
Yes.
He's the guy.
Uh-huh.
And we already have backpedaling.
I'm glad CD's mom is getting involved.
Well, what about Micah Parsons' brother?
Well, I mean, but, when your mom's involved, she probably gave CD some cookies and milk and said, don't worry, son, I'll handle this.
I'll handle this.
Yes.
You know what else they all have in common?
What's that?
We'll dive into that next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, you want to get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro, especially if you need winter gear. It's cold outside, rainy today. The rodeo's coming, so we're going to get wonderful weather during the rodeo. So get that cold weather gear at Sammy's Embroidery Club with your business logo, your group logo, your organization logo. You need it on coats, jackets, half zips, beanies. Sam's got it all on display right now on his showroom floor, including over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations just waiting for your logo. Even has the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps in stock. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands. So call 210-824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Her best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at zquill.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try soon. Harry's is available online and in-store at a retailer near you. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/quality. That's harrys.com/quality. Or check us out at your local Costco for a price you can't find anywhere else. Just look for the Chrome Razor with 13 blade refills at your local Costco. You can't miss it. Exclusive to Costco members.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZY to learn more.
And now a message from Puffs Plus Lotion Tissues. Ordinary tissues can leave you with a red nose, so choose Puffs Plus Lotion for all of your blows. Puffs have lotion to soothe sensitive skin, so you can wipe without wincing. It's a win-win. Puffs have cushiony thickness, which brings relief too, so the days of sore red noses are gone and through. When you're after soothing softness, a nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
Nachos! Yeah, your nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just gonna eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Frank's? Seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Yeah, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it, and we'll cut you to the front of the line. We're going to hype the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagel210. You can tweet at me, at Jason Minix. You can always dial up 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there. And if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, please. Also, subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel.
Do all of those things. It's not hard.
It's
Just
not hard.
knock it out. Do it. Get it done.
You guys support us in so many ways. Bosses like that kind of stuff. You go there. We'll be on Radio Row in Las Vegas.
We will.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage beginning on February 5th. We get out to Vegas on the 4th. So we're a couple weeks out. And literally during that last commercial break, I got an email confirming Emmett Smith will be on the Blitz, as he does every year with Herrador Tequila. He's going to be on with us Friday of Radio Row Week. What is that?
Dude, I don't know.
The 9th?
Is it?
I don't. The 9th.
It's Friday.
I literally just put it on my calendar. It's the 9th. Clear the decks, right? Because Emmett, and again, we're very fortunate, but Emmett Smith every year on Radio Row is always a lot of fun. And
I can't wait.
Well, I mean, there's so much to talk about with Emmett because you think about the...
I'm just going to say, Emmett, Cowboys, and let him go.
Well, I mean, if you follow him on... If you follow him on social, he put out a video just like Michael Irvin did after they were embarrassed by Green Bay. And Emmett doesn't hold back. I mean, 2 years in a row. Emmitt Smith so pissed off at the Dallas Cowboys, what he said on this show made it to Get Up with Mike Greenberg. And he does, I don't know how many interviews, but a bunch.
Sure.
But there's something about when we start talking Cowboys with Emmett, he doesn't hold back. I don't know why, but
just the tequila.
Well, maybe because, we will be drinking tequila with Emmitt Smith. But 2 years in a row, things that he has said on our show has made national news. What is Emmett going to say about the family drama going on in Dallas right now? You talk about keeping things in the locker room, yet you've got Dak's brother. Well, I'd get him out of Dallas if I could, fair weather fans. You've got CD's mom saying Dak isn't the guy. And then you got Micah Parsons' brother. Raise your hand if you knew Micah had a brother.
I had no clue.
You got Micah Parsons' brother saying that Dak needs to take a hometown discount, right?
He does.
Well,
that's true.
Although, and he doesn't. But the thing about Micah's brother talking and CD's mom talking, both of those guys are up for a contract at the same time Dak is. And they all know Dak is going to get paid first and the most. And however Dak does his deal could affect theirs. Although I think both Micah and CD will get the richest contract for their positions at the time that they sign it. The question for Micah, while he is eligible for a contract, the Cowboys can push that, then pick up the 5-year option. And if I'm Micah, I then hold out because Micah wants to get paid now.
Well, that'd be great. Let's do that. And we'll look forward to next season with, can't wait. Maybe they'll finish last in the NFC East this year. And that'll be fun. Have Micah hold out. Are you kidding me? While CD's mom is running around saying she'd rather her son play with CJ Stroud and the Texans and, all of that kind of stuff. That's just, I am so happy social media is available and that, family members now have an opportunity to get it off their chest. The problem that I have, Jason, and I'm going to start with CD. That has to be a conversation in that family between CD, mom, and whoever else is there that Dak, that maybe it's a little something between CD and Dak and they just don't like each other.
Well, except are they just like a couple that they love each other except they fight a lot, right?
Could be.
I mean, because those two guys were on the same page this year for the majority of the season.
Yeah.
Those two guys seem to get along. They have that connection that you're always looking for where I can just give you the look and it happens. CD gets frustrated like every receiver out there. I don't think his drama is at the level of, say, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, but now you got mom involved. And so I don't know if that's really mom speaking for CD, things that, or is that just mom being mom? And I'm just out there because, you see Parsons, Micah's brother, now backpedaling on his comments.
Oh, man. I just want to clear up that any comments that I do make are my own.
Except this one.
It has nothing to do with any of that. He doesn't, he doesn't give me any type of inside information or anything like that. He makes his own decisions. I make my own decisions. Anything I say should not be in any way put in his mouth like it's coming from him. Other than that, like people who want to twist my words up, I'm always going to speak the truth. I'm a real fan. I don't do any fair weather fans or anything like that. I don't hate on any of the players. No disrespect comes from my way.
Yeah.
I just, I point out the game film. I make my opinions. I make my comments. And that's all.
Okay, Thomas Parsons. That was a great Michael Jackson. That moonwalking was incredible. I make my own decisions. Who put you up to recording this video?
Micah.
Yes.
Micah did, because Micah came out yesterday and said, look, he's whatever he says, that's his opinion. I have nothing to do with it. The problem is, you notice that silence from C.D. Lamb? There's been nothing from C.D. Lamb to correct his mother. I think there's a problem there.
I don't know, because you never hear Dak fire back either.
I'm just saying.
I mean, Tad says a lot. CD, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Is CD happy in Dallas? I hope right now all of them are unhappy with the way that season ended. Because if Jerry Jones is going to run it back with the same staff, isn't it up to the players to figure out their own stuff internally?
Good, baby. When you get family, man, this is just bizarre. And it's just the Dallas Cowboys. This couldn't happen to any other franchise. It's the Dallas Cowboys. You got family members getting involved. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
Jerry Jones invites the circus.
There's no doubt.
I mean, and you wonder, because we've asked Stephen Jones this question. Do you ever get upset with things that Micah says on his podcast? And they've got that freedom there in Dallas, in that locker room, to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that a locker room needs to be as muzzled as, say, the San Antonio Spurs locker room.
No, absolutely
But
not.
I think there could be too much free reign there. You know what I mean? When you're, not giving credit to your opponents when they kick your ass, Micah, like after the San Francisco game, when, I just look at so much of this, and you're right. It's drama in Dallas. I mean, the Big D's gone from disappointment to drama. I mean, it's a variety of things.
I love it. And look, I mean, the locker room's one thing, but how are you going to control Mom and Terrence Parsons Jr. and Tad Prescott? I mean, how you can't get? There's nothing you can do about that if you're Jerry Jones.
No, but those players can do something about it, because I don't know this, but I'm guessing Parsons probably helps out with the rent. Micah does for his brother. I'm sure CD has gotten something nice for his mother.
I'm sure.
And when your words can affect my work life, and I think that's why you saw the backpedaling there from Thomas Parsons.
Absolutely. Well, sure. But all I'm hearing is crickets. We'll call him Cricket Lamb.
Cricket Lamb?
Cricket Lamb.
The hell was that?
Crickets.
That was not crickets. I'm not sure what that was, but it wasn't crickets.
Silence from C.D. Lamb.
How about Silence of the Lambs?
Whoa!
Corey Connors, the defending Valero Texas Open champion, joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, I've got a message for you that's going to change your dental game in about 60 seconds. You fed up with the same old dental routine? You know what I'm talking about. Those endless trips to the dentist, dealing with missing teeth, temporary fixes that just never seem to stick. Well, buckle up, because I've got the answer. Doctor's Implants. At Doctor's Implants, they're board-certified oral and facial surgeons. Well, they're ready to transform your smile. You can say goodbye to the frustration of traditional dentistry and welcome a brighter future. Don't let old school dentistry hold you back any longer. You got to embrace your future with full mouth dental implants at Doctor's Implants. You can check them out at doctorsimplants.com. And here's the kicker. When you give them a call at 210-640-0000, tell them I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz, and you're going to get a complimentary consultation and a CT scan. Your journey to a perfect smile begins at Doctor's Implants. Don't wait. Call them today. 210-640-0000.
It's R&R in the morning.
Wednesday on R&R in the morning. The Spurs are home for a week or so, and they're welcoming in the other rookie. His name is Chet Holmgren. He ain't the star that we think he is, or is he? The battle in San Antonio. We'll talk about it.
The NFL coaching carousel continues to turn round and round and round. Plus, is this the worst Dallas Cowboys offseason ever? Only in its second week. Bring your coffee. We'll talk about it at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. The hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Hi, I'm Joe Reinagle. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They're reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate, 210-785-0994, or go online at stevensroofing.net.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs and cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. Are you a veteran, active duty military, or already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Chronic pain can be very bossy. What do I mean? It tells you what you can or can't do. Sometimes it even has the audacity to keep you from working.
I missed almost 3 weeks of work and I was no longer able to play tennis. The pain was really debilitating sometimes. I missed Thanksgivings.
Abby was ready to put the bossy bad back in her past. And that's when she discovered QC Kinetics and their non-surgical treatments for pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine with tens of thousands of satisfied patients, people who have experienced real lasting relief without drugs and without surgery.
It has just been the most life-changing, amazing experience. Not only life-changing, but career-saving. I get to continue to do the career that I love. I'm playing tennis again.
Stop letting that joint pain boss you around. Start with a free consultation at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Bemke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Bemke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BemkeLaw.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. This morning, we were up early at a TPC San Antonio as the Valero Texas Open held their media day. Some big announcements on player commitments already, including Rory McIlroy, Max Homa, Colin Morikawa, as well as the defending champion who was in San Antonio today, Corey Connors, who's joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Corey, it's interesting seeing you at breakfast, and know you've got a flight out this afternoon. What do you do in between? Because the weather kind of sucked today. So did you get to go play a little golf out at TPC?
Hey, guys. No golf today. Doing some events with the Valero Texas Open team. And, but had a great day and fun to be back in San Antonio.
You know, Corey, I've got to ask you, because as you were talking this morning in front of the media, and the announcement was coming out with the big names that are coming, I'm thinking like, Corey doesn't care. This dude owns TPC San Antonio.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting for the event. I've had a great record here, but I'm really looking forward to teeing it up alongside some of the other stars in the game, and arguably none bigger than Rory McIlroy. So it's awesome that he's going to be coming to San Antonio in a couple months, and I look forward to trying to take him down.
Corey, when you think about playing on the PGA Tour and you're playing an event where you do have some of the bigger names, does that change your approach, your game, any different, knowing who's in the field?
No, it really doesn't. It's just about playing my game, building a game plan and trying to stick to that, and worrying about myself and not the others in the event for the most part. So it's exciting to have them here, but I'll be doing my own thing and try and get myself near the top of the leaderboard.
You know, Corey, I remember the first time you won here in San Antonio. You've won a couple of times, but after that first one, it just seemed like every tournament that I turned on, you were on the leaderboard. Is there something about winning that first one that just kind of gives you the confidence that you can go anywhere and play with anybody?
Yeah, I think getting that first win was huge for me, and it definitely boosted my confidence and gave me a sense of belonging, and found myself in contention more and more. Certainly would have liked to have a few more wins under my belt at this point, but I'm hoping there's many more to come. But that first win was definitely huge for my confidence and gave me a boost, knowing that I belong with the top level players on the PGA Tour.
You certainly have proved you belong. Corey Connors joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, defending a Valero Texas Open Champion. You talk about knowing, playing well, like you belong. Kind of going back a little bit with some of the bigger names in golf, is there a pairing that you've had that's made you nervous, or somebody that you want to play with but maybe a little nervous that if you're in a pairing with them?
Not really. I feel like I've got a good relationship with a lot of the top players in the world. I've looked up to Rory my whole PGA Tour career. He's done a lot of great things for the game of golf and is an amazing player. So playing with him a couple of times before, it's been maybe a little nerve-wracking, but he's such a nice guy that you feel comfortable in his presence. I think that's the case with a lot of the other top players. I've never been able to play with Tiger, never got paired with Tiger. I think I might be a little nervous with that one, but I played with Phil Mickelson a few times. He was just another guy, and it was fun to play with.
Well, you say that, and depending on what pros you talk to, we think you guys are gentlemen out there, and you are. I'm not saying you're not, but I mean, I know there's a lot of trash talking that goes on from some players. That is true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely true. I think that trash talking is more, amongst friends and more of a joking matter. We certainly all want to beat each other, but I think a lot of players have a pretty good, positive relationship where it's not too bad.
No, obviously, I mean, everybody's competitive. You're professional athletes, and there's trash talking. Who is the one guy? And during a tournament, it might be hard because there's microphones everywhere, right? So I'm guessing the text messages before or after a round can get brutal. Who do you text the most on tour to give crap to about the way they played?
I think I'm closest with a lot of the other Canadian players. I think we, give it to one another once in a while. Mackenzie Hughes and Taylor Pendrith went to school with. Nick Taylor, another close friend, and Hadwin. We're all pretty close, and we're not afraid to joke around with one another.
All right, Corey, I've got to ask you. You grew up in Canada, and I think of Canada. I think snow. It's cold, ice all over the place. When do you play golf?
Yeah, well, currently you're very accurate on your description of Canada. We have about 4 feet of snow right now. But fortunately, live in Jupiter, Florida for the winter time, so not having to experience that. But basically, middle of April until the middle of October. So there's 6 months of golf season and 6 months of shoveling your driveway and playing hockey.
Well, there you go. I mean, as long as your hockey swing doesn't turn into your golf swing, you're doing okay there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think the two movements actually have a few similarities, but yeah, you don't want to be slapping the golf ball too badly.
Well, I got to try that then. I can't. Something's got to help my golf game. Maybe I'll go get a hockey stick. I'm
Corey, Joe doesn't know what hockey is. I've been trying. I'm a huge hockey guy, big New Jersey Devils fan, and Joe knows. And Joe doesn't even recognize icing, so you can't have a hockey conversation
it's
with
tough.
him.
I grew up in South Texas, Corey, so hockey wasn't a thing really.
Fair enough.
But was that something you were into though as a kid? And how did you get
Canadian?
into golf?
He has to be into hockey.
I get that, but
it's required.
When you get into golf, how in the world did you start playing golf?
Yeah, definitely was an avid hockey player. It was in my childhood, 6 months of golf, 6 months of hockey. My dad introduced me to the game. Golf is really popular in Canada. I think per capita, most people in the world play golf in Canada, and just love being outdoors, as a country, but I had a passion for it from a young age. My dad introduced me when I was really young, 4 or 5 years old. By 8, 9, 10 was a pretty avid golfer and, loved the game, loved working at the game and had a lot of fun playing.
Now, Corey, as you say that, growing up as a kid, did you have dreams of winning on the PGA Tour or hoisting the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I think, I was more of a, individual person kind of. I certainly love the team sports, but winning on the PGA Tour was definitely up there for me. I think that was always my dream. And if I was offered the Stanley Cup, I certainly wouldn't turn that down either. But winning on the PGA Tour has always been a dream of mine.
Corey, without getting too involved, but I am curious your thoughts. And I know as a kid, I used to do it too. I'm just not near the golfer you are. But, winning on Sunday at the Masters or winning, the Valero Texas Open or whatever. What's the perception of the PGA Tour in Canada? And has that changed any with the LIV now coming on?
Yeah, I think the perception of the PGA Tour in Canada is, that it's the best golf organization in the world. There's such a growing number of Canadians on the PGA Tour now. Last season, including myself, there was 4 different Canadian winners, and there's record number of Canadian players on tour every year, and the numbers continuing to grow, which is really exciting to be a part of. So I think there's a lot of positivity around the PGA Tour for Canadians in the golf world, and yeah, it's thought of pretty highly.
Corey Connors joining us here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Most people aren't probably going to know this, and most don't say pro athlete, math genius. But in your bio, it calls you a math genius.
Yeah, I mean that's a generous term for me. I would say I certainly passionate about math through my university days and my education, and it did come pretty easy to me. But I'm gonna go easy on the genius part of that.
Well, I mean, so as a math genius, and let's go with genius. I mean, own everything that you can own. Not many people can say they're passionate about math or math genius. So does that help you at all in golf, or are you calculating taxes as you're collecting the winner's check?
Depends on what state he's in.
Yeah, it's great when you win in Texas, but no, I think it definitely helps in my game, and just sort of some analysis of different situations and risk assessment of different shots possibly. But golf's hard enough. Really try and dumb it down as much as possible out there and keep things really simple. So I think the way I think about things definitely my math background definitely helps, but I'm not running through equations out there in my head when I'm on the 18th hole on Sunday.
All right, Corey, I've got to ask you. You guys, I mean, I know the caddy's very important to you guys, but you're always looking at this, the flip charts or the
book,
notepad or whatever. What are you guys saying to each other, and what kind of information is in there?
Yeah, there's a lot of information in there. I like to take a lot of notes in my practice and my preparation, building my game plan, and can remind myself by looking through the yardage book at what I want to do and where I'm trying to hit it on each shot. So Caddy and I, he's a huge part of the process. We are discussing some of the notes that we took, some of the things we remember, and kind of the plan for the shot, what we want the shot to look like, and then I, take that and try and feel what I want to feel and go ahead and try and execute. So some people are different. I use the Urge book quite a lot. Some people don't use it as much. It helps us figure out how far we are from the pin, and can help with some strategy aspects as well.
Corey Connors joining us here on the Blitz. Knucklehead question, not that we haven't done a couple of those already, though. Happened the other day, I forget which tournament, but there was a guy on the phone, and the golfer didn't want to continue his swing and had his caddy get the guy off the phone. Why is it pro golfers need total silence when you're about to hit a shot?
Yeah, so some guys are different than others in that respect. It's kind of a funny phenomenon. I'm sort of baffled by it as well. And things don't bother me that much out there. I haven't really, backed off, or I certainly haven't asked my caddy to, tell someone to stop. The odd time a phone will ring and it'll be a little bit of a distraction. But yeah, it messes up your focus. There's a fine line between a really good shot and a really bad shot. So you certainly don't want to, take any chances by not being 100% focused on what you're trying to do.
Well, Corey, when you guys go to Scottsdale for that waste management tournament, I mean, is that different when you're there on that par 3 when everybody's screaming and throwing beer cans and all of that stuff?
Yeah, that one's definitely different, but I feel like there's so much noise there that it all just kind of blends together and you're still able to keep your mind pretty clear. Although, the heart's definitely beating a little bit quicker when you're playing some of the holes at TPC Scottsdale for that event.
Obviously, this morning you were talking about starting the year out in Maui, and who wouldn't want to take the wife and the kid out to Maui and play golf at that resort? Waste management is one thing. Obviously, you've won twice here in San Antonio. Is there a tournament that you look forward to playing every year just because it's a cool environment in a cool city, even though there might be something about it that doesn't really work with your schedule, but you say, you know what, I'm always playing that one if I'm able to?
Well, yeah, I think the easy answer is the Valero Texas Open here in San Antonio. It's an event that I always look forward to, and I've looked forward to coming to even before winning a couple times. I think another one that comes to mind is the Players Championship. It's a big event on the PGA Tour and a golf course that I really like, and it just has a little bit of a more special feel that week. All the top players in the world are playing, and it's a big stage, and that's one that I certainly look forward to. But week in and week out, there's so many great events on the PGA Tour, and everyone does such a great job putting together the schedule and putting on amazing events. So we're pretty lucky to be able to do what I do.
Well, we're pretty partial here in San Antonio, obviously, and we love the Valero Texas Open. So if somebody that hasn't been out there and hasn't, seen the best golfers in the world out there to play, what makes this golf tournament so special, Corey?
It's got a really great atmosphere out on the golf course. First of all, the golf course is beautiful. It's in magnificent condition, and it's a spectacle just to see that. There's a lot of really unique holes, and there's some great viewing opportunities for the spectators. The par 3 16th hole comes to mind. Bunker right in the center of the green is a very unique attribute that you really don't see anywhere else. But it's a really cool environment. There's lots of other things to do, besides watching golf, but watching the best players in the world play golf is pretty exciting too.
Well, it is. And
Absolutely.
Obviously, you guys are the best in the world at what you do. So when you look at a guy like me, and I suck at golf, I think the one time I was playing TPC, and not even the course you guys play, the other one, I think I was about 122.
And that was on the front nine.
How
Corey.
we didn't have to go all the way there, but yeah, what's the trick of shooting a low score on that course?
Yeah, just getting the ball in the hole as fast as you can. I think this course is really demanding from tee to green. You have to really drive it well and hit your irons well. It's really penalizing if you're off with the driver. You get yourself into trouble, and likewise if you're off with the irons, it's really difficult around the greens. There's some really challenging bunkers that are tough to navigate, and yeah, I think all around
you could easily tell me just grab a beer and stay in the cart.
Yeah. You just save your money, Jason, and stay off the golf course. How about that?
It's a good time.
You could probably do that. I've got to ask you real quick, Corey. I grew up, Jack Nicklaus was my guy. I love that guy. Love watching him play. Who was the guy that you grew up watching? Was it a guy like Mike Weir, perhaps?
Yeah, I think two people. Tiger Woods, obviously, he was in his heyday when I was getting into golf, and then Mike Weir was a big idol of mine, being a Canadian. And I remember him winning the Masters in 2003 when I was 11 years old. Pretty special moment. Inspired me, and I think inspired many other Canadians.
There you go. And for Ryan Eagle, since we made fun of my crappy golf, which I'm happy when I break 100, because basically what you were saying is I'm screwed out there at TPC. But what is your thoughts on white belts on the golf course?
And something that I did when I was a kid. You won't see me in too many of those nowadays.
See, now Ryan Eagle's a fan of the white belts.
I like the white
so
belt.
You got some fashion advice. You think Joe should knock off the white belt?
Yeah, well, some people can pull it off. I'm not going to tell him what to do.
I mean, you saw him this morning. He can't.
Nicest guy on tour right here, Corey Connors.
He is.
No doubt.
Corey, glad to see you this morning and appreciate you calling in this afternoon on your way out of town. San Antonio has treated you well. Look forward to having you back in town for the Valero Texas Open coming up in April. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thanks.
Corey Connors on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com.
Nice guy. He really is. And secretly he wears a white belt. And I'm going to get video of it in April.
You're going to find video?
I'm going to find video.
You think he's going to have?
I think he'll have it on.
So we're going to have to save this.
Absolutely.
To see if he actually rolls out in a white belt.
Everybody likes a white belt.
Clearly, he just said no. He said when he was a kid. Right? He grew out of that.
He's still a kid as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he's 32. He is to you, yes. But he's outgrown it.
I have not.
You have not.
I appreciate the white belt. Goes with everything.
He really said I'm screwed when it comes to golfing out there, huh?
Well, dude, you are. You can be screwed playing golf anywhere. I've seen you play.
As long as I have fun. That's all I care about. I'm not trying to win millions. Or 20.
Yeah.
The one thing I won't gamble on, my golf game.
I wouldn't either. I just hope you bring enough balls.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. They travel well.
Yes. Well, what do you get them at? Academy? Or your wife?
Wow. Well, if she lets me borrow them on the weekend, is that what you're asking?
Exactly right.
That
massive tea bag.
Edwin Watts.
Oh,
you can go over there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Online tournaments. Tournaments. I mean, I think my general rule. 2 sleeves. Brand new. Once those are gone, I'm fishing in the bag for whatever I have found along the way.
2 sleeves don't last you very long.
That's 6.
Yeah.
Oh no! Last time Pledge and I played, I had the same ball through 12 before I lost a ball.
Wow.
I was proud of myself. That day, I used 2.
That's good. That's awesome.
I didn't hit it far enough to get out of bounds. That's why. Actually, I was hitting it well that day.
That's good.
Yeah.
I've seen you hit a good shot or 2.
I did. I just, I have a couple of decent holes, and the rest of it's crap. That's kind of how it works.
Let's go back to my old. I've seen better swings on an abandoned playground.
Such an ass sometimes. Although it is true. Valero Texas Open is going to be a lot of fun.
It always is.
Rory committing early is major. And listening and talking to people this morning out at TPC San Antonio, the way the calendar is setting up, expect more big names to commit. But to have a commitment from Rory this early, that's impressive.
Well, and Max Homa, too. We can't forget about him. And Colin Morikawa, him, too. I mean, that's a pretty stout field already for mid-January.
ND Kalu will join us at 3:30 to talk some Texans football. Guys, Synergenics can help you conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, possibly low libido? These could all be caused by low T levels. Your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Go over to Synergenics, where they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And with the convenience of their on-site lab at Synergenics, you're going to get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. So book an appointment now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Joel, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, DACLA 000743458.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150-milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
And now a message from Puffs Plus Lotion Tissues. Ordinary tissues can leave you with a red nose, so choose Puffs Plus Lotion for all of your blows. Puffs have lotion to soothe sensitive skin, so you can wipe without wincing. It's a win-win. Puffs have cushiony thickness, which brings relief too, so the days of sore red noses are gone and through. When you're after soothing softness, a nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
Nachos! Yeah, your nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just gonna eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Franks. Oh, seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Yeah, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Strange news this afternoon. It is breaking just about an hour ago. The Milwaukee Bucks have fired head coach Adrian Griffin. Griffin was hired this past summer to replace Mike Budenholzer. Also being reported that Doc Rivers is a serious candidate to replace Griffin. How about this? Jim Harbaugh and the LA Chargers reportedly are close to reaching a deal to make him their new head football coach.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy.
Howdy.
What a nasty day, man. Foggy, rainy. At least it's not cold.
True. Is it still rainy?
I don't know. Let me look out the window.
We can't.
Of course not.
We can't.
We have no window.
Not to the outside world. We've got a window in the Pledge's studio.
Got to look at Pledge and people walking by.
And Pledge has, well, no window in his, but he can walk out the door and go see a window. Is it still rainy?
It's not raining, but it is overcast still.
Wow.
Overcast still.
Think about that poor guy. Dude flies in at a golf course all day, and I'm sure he had stuff to do, but how do you not work in 9? You know,
the weather.
Well,
he doesn't have to.
What do you mean he doesn't have to?
He's good.
He's a professional. He probably
Florida.
Wants to practice hours every day.
You know, I'm sorry, but you make it sound bad. Let me fly into town and spend the day at a golf course and fly home to Jupiter, Florida. And
I mean,
spend the day at a golf course. Let me do some of that.
I mean, this isn't Rory flying in on a private jet. In fact, he had all kinds of flight delays getting here, and he's got a flight this afternoon. So he's on a commercial airline. I'm sure it's a good ticket. But I'm saying
he's in first class.
I'm saying it's not like he's on the private jet flying in and flying out for this thing.
Let me tell you something about Corey Connors. Not only the money he's made for winning twice at the Valero Texas Open, but the guy is always, it seems like nowadays, he's on the leaderboard, which means he's doing okay.
I think he's just fine.
He's doing just fine.
I mean, if he's living half the year in Jupiter, Florida, and half the year in Canada.
Is he? I don't think he does that.
He literally just told us that.
He doesn't live there half the time.
He said he lives in Florida during the winter and then goes home for the summer.
Is that what he said?
Literally, he said that.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive he said that. I'm glad you were listening.
Well, when he got to Canada, I'm not listening anymore. I can't imagine. Although I'm sure it's beautiful in the summertime.
I did hear him say a boot.
Only a couple of times. He didn't have the strong Canadian accent that I was expecting.
No. And he truly is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yes.
I mean, he really is. He's got a 2-year-old daughter, and that fortunately, I think he gets to take his wife and daughter out and about with him when he plays golf.
And a boot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at it. I mean, I'm not sure how it works, right?
Uh-huh.
But everywhere they play, generally a resort.
Sure.
Or you rent a house. Like at Augusta, like I've talked about this with Jimmy Walker before, you know, they rent a house and the family comes and, you know, you go to work and the family's hanging out at the Airbnb. Here, you know, same kind of thing. You know, do they get rooms? I don't know if they're comp rooms or they get the Marriott discount there at the JW. He goes to work and, you know, they're hanging out at the pool or going to a spa day.
There are a lot of people that will leave their house during that week and rent it out, that live over and around the TPC. A lot of them do that. And they make decent money.
I would imagine.
So it's not bad. We should buy a house over by the TPC and rent it out.
I mean, you could.
You could.
But depending on the level of golfer, depends on where over there you're renting it out.
Well, maybe if it's a lower level
so
of
you're
golfer.
Saying Rory just doesn't have a room at the resort? He gets a house somewhere?
I would imagine Rory's in somebody's swanky house. Yeah. That would be my guess. Or the presidential suite at the J-Dub.
Why does it have to be a swanky house?
Because it's Rory McIlroy.
But again, why does it have to be schwanky?
Well, what is he going to be? Is it going to be a shack?
Well, not necessarily a shack. There's not shacks over there in that part of town.
Well, that's true.
But, I mean, it's not all schwanky. I mean, the guy comes in, he goes to golf, he goes to work every day.
Yeah.
And then probably goes out to dinner and then goes back to the house. He doesn't have to have schwanky.
What are you
not
talking
like
about?
He's going to utilize all the facilities.
You're talking about Jimmy Walker. That guy barbecues probably better than anybody that I know. The guy's good.
I mean, his Instagram looks fantastic.
Yeah, well, it does.
I mean, Jimmy's never invited me over for steaks.
He hadn't invited me over either, but it damn sure looks good.
He had one of the better endorsement deals for a long time.
Yeah.
That I imagine he was highly upset when it went away. Because there for a while he was doing Traeger stuff. And then he had an endorsement deal from Snake River Farms. And, that's all Wagyu steaks from wherever, and they ship it in. And, I mean, they're proud of their steaks. I mean, those steaks are so expensive, you're afraid to mess them up. I mean,
exactly.
you just, but if it's an endorsement deal and they're sending them, why not?
Well, I think Jimmy's pretty good at it. I think he takes a lot of pride in that.
He does.
My point being is that these guys want a house that's got a nice area to grill some steaks, of course.
Have some bourbon the night before.
They're not going out and partying, when they've got a tea time in the morning.
And they don't want a house with a little propane grill that you're not sure if it's going to work.
No. They need one of those built-ins, with the brick, nice built-in thing with the refrigerator and, nice speakers on the roof and couch out on the patio.
It's what they want.
It's what they want. Well, they can have that.
But if I remember correctly, because clearly you don't remember an interview of 20 minutes ago, but when Jimmy Walker was on with us last May, before he went in to the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame,
yes,
he was talking about the Airbnb that they had in Dallas at that tournament, and he was doing steaks that night, but he was mad because the little propane grill was a piece of crap.
That's what I'm saying. Why take a chance?
Well, I mean, you're Jimmy
Spend
Walker.
a few extra bucks
on the house, or you just send somebody over to the store and get yourself a new grill, and you
don't want to do that because you can't take it with him. You.
I mean, you're Jimmy Walker. You've made the cut. You've paid for the grill.
I just think that you just upgrade. You can pay a couple thousand more. Get a better house.
Couple thousand more for a house for the weekend.
Yes.
Or $600 for a better propane grill at Home Depot.
Well, you're going to gift them the grill when you leave?
Well, I mean,
why would you do that?
Imagine you could somehow pack it up and.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean,
let me put this in my golf bag.
Well, you got somebody that could drive it home. They've got a truck.
Drive it home.
Well, I mean, yeah.
What if he's playing in Canada?
Well, he was in Dallas.
I'm just saying.
If he's in Canada.
I mean, Jimmy Walker plays all over the country.
Donate it to the house, but you could donate it to somebody, or
or you could pay a couple thousand more, get a better house,
or a $600 grill.
Or no, why do that?
I mean, you get those little Weber Spirit ones; those are fantastic gas grills. Like the Spirit 2, it's perfect.
I don't want a gas grill.
I'm just saying, if it's an Airbnb, what are you going to do?
Well, it should be a nice.
Swanky
one with the
Ryan Engel's so good at spending other people's money
in the bricks, all built in.
I mean, the reality too, you could probably go to a really nice steakhouse.
Well, you probably could, but you don't want to do that. You want to relax.
You can't relax at a nice steakhouse.
Well, you can, but you got to get in the car, drive all the way to the steakhouse.
Somebody's driving
drive
you.
Home. Well, either way. What's the difference? You could just sit there in your skivs and barbecue a steak at the house.
I don't know if you have people over, you're in your skivs.
Well, you said he's going to have people over.
You did. Literally, you did.
Well,
have the caddy over, a couple of friends, and sit around in your underwear and eat steaks.
Well, look, if it's your caddy, who gives a damn? He's probably seen you in your skivs.
Good Lord.
I mean, aren't they like a married couple, for goodness sake? Spend the money, Jimmy.
Think about what you're saying.
Oh, that's a great idea, Jim.
Exactly.
Because Jimmy.
I promise you, Schwampy is listening right now.
Oh, is
and
he?
He's thinking about grilling steaks at the house in Las Vegas. And this dude's going to roll around in his skivs now because you said it's okay.
Dude, Schwamp's not cooking steaks.
Well, no,
that's Rob's job.
Yeah, Rob, you, me, anybody, but Schwampy, who will stick his hand in your cereal, is now going to do that while standing in his skivs because you just said it's okay.
I don't even want to imagine that. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, he's sweating his ass off and just whiteys.
Whiteys. Good thing I didn't eat lunch, man. I might have just lost it right there. Is there a grill where we're going? Where we're staying? Did you make sure of that?
I did not.
Oh my God.
You
got one job, dude.
Dude, we got a pool. You know what my job is when I'm booking a house?
One job, yeah.
Right?
Make sure there's a grill.
That's no. Do we all have a bed? In our own bedroom?
Yes.
How many bathrooms are in there? And nothing else matters after that.
True. It does have a pool, though, doesn't it?
It's got a pool, so I'm going to assume a grill.
I would assume that's a good assumption.
That would be a good assumption.
Yeah.
Although it could be like the house we had in Oxnard had a grill that didn't work.
Well, it didn't work. Well, where was it? In L.A. that Rob got that one to work somehow, some way? Or was that you? One of you did, and we.
Well, I think that was this last year in Oxnard.
Oh, they all come together.
Well, I mean, because the one house we had 2 years ago in Oxnard where Rob broke his foot, that had a great grill, great backyard. This last one was right on the beach, a great beach view.
Yeah.
But that grill in the back,
it didn't work.
It didn't work. We got it working, sorta. It didn't get over 200 degrees.
I didn't really care then. That was a great house.
That was.
Yeah.
See, that's it.
That was a great house.
Grill was not the priority there, although there was a grill in the picture.
I do remember a pizza visit, though. It didn't turn out too good.
So we've got to take odds on this year's Super Bowl trip. How many days in before Schwampy gets sick? Because every trip that we have taken, at some point, Schwampy has gotten sick. The guy's stomach is pretty weak.
Well,
at the Super Bowl in Phoenix, it was I think of the Friday night when we were at the Dirty Dog Saloon. You know, he's over at the convenience store buying Pepto and sitting outside on the curb. Then last year in Oxnard at the pizza place,
right over the rail,
didn't even barely move. I mean, I think we had we eaten yet?
No,
the food was still on its way.
It was on its way.
Yeah, I can never go back to Topper's Pizza. He ruined one of the best places there is.
Yes, you can.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I just won't sit outside
with Schwampy.
No, with anybody.
You could sit outside.
I'll sit inside.
I mean, what that man did to those bushes is criminal.
They're probably dead.
Criminal.
Dead.
Were those seals that were along there?
Did they like puke?
Oh, I mean, poor guy. And birds.
Well, maybe. I'm sure the seagulls, those damn things will eat anything.
Well, they will, but I'm more worried about the seals. Thinking they found something good from the restaurant, and they realized that Schwampy's.
It was good chunks of something.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't lose it.
Dude, I had to get up and leave. I'm a nice guy. I really am. Nobody should throw up alone. If I see you throw up, chances are I'm going to throw up with you.
I didn't see it. I just heard.
Well, we all got out of there in a hurry. And then that chick on the plane home.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was a rough trip for us, wasn't it? When it comes to people
I've never
puking.
seen so much puke.
Woo, that poor girl was hungover as hell.
Yeah.
She was, man.
Talk about sweaty.
I felt bad. She wanted my seat. I said, no. No.
You were such an ass.
I'm not going to sit in the middle because you partied too much the night before. You want me to sit in the middle?
Well, she needed to quickly get to the bathroom.
Well, she had
a true gentleman would have allowed her.
She had a bag.
And an even better friend would have put me not next to her. So you should have taken that middle seat just to provide a little bit of buffer.
We got her a bag. The flight attendants and
Yes.
We got her a bag. I said, I'll get up anytime you want.
Yes.
Just let me know. But I'm not sitting in the middle seat. Sorry.
And then, of course, you put your tray table down, put your drink up there and your tablets so you could watch whatever it is we were watching. You were all set up. She had to throw up, and you're like, oh, give me a second. Let me put all this away and then unbuckle.
Turn toward the window and puke
no,
that way.
don't turn towards the window, man. She like the forearm shiver over to your way.
That was a crazy trip. Swampy and then the drunk girl on the plane.
Mm-hmm. Spurs lose last night by 10.
That's all?
Oh, look,
wow.
They gave up 70 to one dude, but they only lost by 10. We'll talk about Joel Embiid's incredible night last night. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're down in Corpus, up in Dallas, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Your local Y has all the fitness facilities and classes you want with none of the pressure. So you can stay true to you and stay in your community. At the Y, everyone belongs. Join today. Learn more at ymcasatx.org. Find your Y this year at YMCA San Antonio. Happy New Year.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more straight talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it.
And now get a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. Find us at straighttalk.com. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only, excludes taxes and fees.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm, it's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Her best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at zquill.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. The Jim Rome Show.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio.
Weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I don't know if you saw Joel Embiid score 70. Cat had 60.
70?
Yeah, Joel had 70 today. 50.
Yeah, 70?
So what did nights like tonight mean in the NBA?
Yeah, even Kevin Durant was surprised. 70 for Embiid last night as Philadelphia beat San Antonio, but Spurs only lost by 10.
Only by 10. And Spurs Twitter was very impressed with the performance.
You give up 70 and only lose by 10? That is impressive.
That's impressive.
That's
yes.
impressive, man.
I don't know what I'm thinking.
I mean, small victories. Baby steps.
That's a small victory?
No, I was pissed. Although, admittedly,
they covered the spread.
Watching the game last night, well, depending on where you had your money.
Well, it was 13, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the Vegas line.
I mean, you look at it. I don't know what to think. I mean, I guess Kevin Durant could have said, well, he's playing the Spurs, of course. He didn't say that.
He could have said that. I wish he would have said that.
I mean, although in reality, he seemed stunned. Dude scored 70. And if you didn't see the video of Kevin Durant, go find the video. Just his facial expression is worth it. It was at some point in the second half, I found myself watching Joel Embiid do something special, not watching the Spurs getting angry at the way they were playing, which I find unusual. That doesn't normally happen when I'm watching the Spurs. But it was a very special game watching him just do his thing.
Well, I was, the Spurs started out great, and that's been a problem for them. They actually started out hot. I think they had 5 3-pointers like in a row, and before they had a miss. And so they started out great, but you could just, Embiid was involved from the get-go, and he was just carrying the load for the Sixers, and that guy is something else, and he's playing great, and that's why I give them a chance. I give them a legit shot to win the Eastern Conference.
You know, he might have secured MVP last night, and at the very least, that will be in his MVP highlight film.
No doubt.
Scoring 70 on Wemby and the Spurs. And after the game, all Greg Popovich could do was laugh about it. Pop?
It's an education every game. There's stuff to learn for rookies every single game. It doesn't matter what the team is or who the players are.
Yeah, he got an education, all right. That's for sure. We're talking about Wemby. Although Wemby had a decent night, right? 33 points, I think it was.
Yeah, no, he played well, and Embiid impressed with him. And in fact, Joel said that, that Wemby might get 100 some game.
Oh, he's great, man. He's got everything. Size, skill, got everything. There's nothing else to say. Bright future. He's already pretty good, but once it develops and his body also catches on, it's gonna be a lot of problems for a lot of guys in this league. But he's extremely talented.
A lot of guys in this league, but not me. He's not going to be a problem for me. And I had kind of how you took that.
Well,
that's kind of how I took it.
I mean, for now.
Little French kid, he's not going to be a problem for me.
Dude, who was it that was trying to size up where he measures up on Wemby? That video is pretty funny. Dude, like, I'm going to come up to this dude's shoulder. I don't know what to think of last night. Part of me is angry, and I don't know if I'm angry at the Spurs or I'm angry at Spurs Twitter, Spurs fans that were, hey, we stayed within 10. Hey, we only lost by 10. Hey, I and even Greg Popovich last night laughing.
He's a fantastic player. Obviously in the running for MVP, that's for sure. But everybody already knew that, so it wasn't a surprise at all. But he's wonderful. He's playing such an all-around game, doing a great job.
And there was nothing I could do about it. Even though I'm probably the best coach in the NBA, I just had to sit back and watch his greatness and, just enjoy what happened. Did Pop not say the other day that if these guys, that he was going to get on their ass if they started what was it? I can't remember the exact phrase.
If they get comfortable losing.
Comfortable losing. Did that not sound comfortable losing right there?
I mean, I think you're outmatched. You're probably going to get your ass kicked. So you only lose by 10. Maybe. I mean, because even pregame, Pop sounded like he knew what was coming.
Go
ahead.
We're going to hammer his ass. I told Wemby to stick him, put your butt right in his stomach, back him down over the rim, and just throw him through the rim. That's what you should look forward to tonight.
Yeah.
Don't tell Wemby I said that.
Yeah. Did Joel hear that and say, all right, here comes a 70 burger.
70 points, dude. That's incredible. 70.
It was special watching it. And again, when I stopped being angry and trying to I mean, when you see something like, when you're seeing something special, and that's what it was last night.
Look, I it's hard for me to sit here and say, well, it's great. They only lost by 10. What do they say in the morning? Incremental growth.
Yeah. You're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking
Rob
about
and RJ?
Rob and RJ in the morning. And I just don't. I'm just not there. I just really thought this team would be better than they were last year. They're worse. There's been some games where they've looked good, some games where they look terrible. But to sit here and celebrate a 10-point loss because, well, we only lost by 10.
You gave up 70 to one dude, and you only lost by 10.
Well, that's the other thing. So guess what? If you only gave up 55 to that guy, you might have won.
Maybe. It's possible. The Houston Texans had a lot more than incremental growth this season, but their season is over. Future looks bright. We'll talk about it with the great ND Kalu. He joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Boy, all this rain, my goodness, it's not good, right? We had the big storm the other night, and if you've noticed that you might have something wrong with your roof, well, you want to get that checked out and get it taken care of as soon as possible. And the best company to call to handle that is Stevens Roofing, because really there's only one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. That is Stevens Roofing. In fact, a quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing. It means comfort, it means confidence, and it means peace of mind, protection for all the things you love. Look, if you're in the market for repairs, a replacement roof, an upgrade, you'll want to work with an experienced team that, number one, has been in business for a long time, and number two, they're not going anywhere. They bring local roots. They bring value and a vast knowledge of their craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. Call them today. Have somebody come out, check your roof, make sure it's okay. The number to call is 210-785-0994. You can also get them online at stevensroofing.net. Call Stevens Roofing. Do it now, 210-785-0994.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting roles for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some prize picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you'll go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize Pick. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Get deals on what you need during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's. Right now, save $20 on select 5-gallon ceiling paint or primer by HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. Plus, get 15% off and earn 3 times bonus points when you buy 4 or more Purdy products. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken in time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts if any. Valid 1/15 through 1/26. Subject to change.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. A Tuesday afternoon.
It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. And every Tuesday about this time, we talk Texans with ND Kalu. But they
did.
lost, and he's not answering his phone.
Oh, you think he's sad?
He might be.
Still mourning?
I mean, we did, I don't want to say confirm, but it was like, yeah, we're talking next week no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
Well, you know, poor Pledge over there. He still hadn't recovered yet.
Understandable. Well,
not
understandable.
really, but okay.
Texting ND.
Oh yeah.
Well, I am.
Well, good. Let's see what he's doing. Now, look, the Texans did great, and I get the little sting of getting beat and knocked out of the playoffs, but my goodness, the fact that you were in the playoffs to begin with is a miracle, and I just should be happy. The future's bright in Houston.
It is very bright, and granted, when you're picking at the top of the draft and you take two guys in the first three picks, right? So Bryce Young goes to Carolina, and then you've got the next two. The fact that the Pro Football Writers of America have named C.J. Stroud the Offensive Rookie of the Year and Will Anderson Jr. as the Defensive Rookie of the Year, you know things are trending in the right direction because you drafted players high in the first round that had immediate impact on both sides of the ball, right? And again, if you're drafting in the first round, your first two picks should be immediate impact kind of players.
They should be.
Dallas, are you listening? And Houston got those picks right.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And I think a little luck there is involved too. I mean, let's face it, right? Because if Houston had the druthers and Davis Mills didn't do them a huge favor, then they would have drafted Bryce Young. Now, granted, he may have played well in that system there in Houston. I don't know, but I think that C.J. Stroud was obviously the better quarterback. And I thought that going into the draft. I honestly did. But to do what they did in the draft and then immediately trade up and get Will Anderson Jr., I mean, that was genius. It really was. I don't know how else to describe it. It was genius on the part of the Houston Texans.
You know, the future is certainly seemingly bright. And it's interesting, though, you know, as a Cowboy fan, you realize carryover doesn't mean anything, right? It really doesn't. You know, 12 wins in a regular season doesn't mean anything because it really is about what you do in the playoffs. And I think you could look at the Philadelphia Eagles as an example of they might be a more surprising out than, say, the Dallas Cowboys, right? Just because and they started 10-1. Everything looked so good until it didn't. And it got worse. And now they're firing their coordinators that they had to replace.
Exactly.
Right? And it makes me wonder when you look at those on D'Amico's staff right now that are interviewing for other jobs, the impact that those coordinators and or position coaches have on an overall team. You know, a head coach gets so much credit, but what happened in Philadelphia other than you changed both coordinators and look where things went? If Bobby Slowick leaves, if the quarterback coach leaves, what kind of impact could that have in a negative way on Houston next year?
Well, it could. And again, I said yesterday, I think Slowick is a few years away. I'm not sure that he's ready to be a head coach yet. I mean, the guy just kind of burst onto the scene, right? I mean, and he did a great job. He did a great job with C.J. Stroud. But I'm not sure that he's going to get hired right away. I don't think Houston has to worry about him leaving. I think he'll be there for at least another year. As far as Philadelphia goes, man, they just didn't get those right, apparently, or it just didn't work, didn't fit because their defense was terrible. And now they're talking about bringing in a Ron Rivera to coach that defense. That's, going back to maybe not a young hotshot, but somebody that's proven that can get it done. And maybe that's where Philadelphia is going to go.
You know, and I like Ron Rivera, so I'm not excited about him going there. But I do think in this case, maybe one of those old school coaches to pair with the young up and coming kind of head coach. That's a good mix.
Well, Wayne Martindale's available. Don't forget about him.
He is, but I know he's an incredible coach, right? But honestly, is he the guy?
Dan Quinn's available, isn't he?
Well, I mean, Dan Quinn has a job right now, and he's looking for other jobs. But I mean, would I rather have Dan Quinn or Wink Martindale, right? As a Cowboy fan, I still think Dan Quinn.
Really?
I mean,
that defense was horrible.
It was down the stretch.
It was awful.
But when I look at the Giants' defense, I mean, how good was it for the last couple of years, right? Sometimes, I mean, I look at Washington, they fired their defensive coordinator, and it was probably time for him to go anyway. But, then they traded away their best defensive players and then fired their coordinator, right?
Well, maybe those defensive players weren't all that great, right? I mean, look what's happening in San Francisco. Chase down there, I mean, he's not I don't remember hearing his name the other night. Did you?
No. But it does make you wonder about the importance of the coordinators and the position coaches. Like I think a lot of Cowboy fans are like me. Al Harris, is he going to be the next defensive coordinator? We know what he's done for the Cowboys defense, and we hear it from you hear it from Dan Quinn every week in his press conference. You hear it from the players talking about the impact that Al Harris has. We all want him to be the coordinator. Well, if Dan Quinn leaves, can we promote Al Harris? We don't know if Al Harris would be good at calling defenses, right? We don't know.
No, you don't know.
But you know what you like in Al Harris, but we don't know if he'd be good at calling defenses.
Here's what I love about the NFL, and you have to overcome it. Offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, coaching staffs are very smart. They figure you out. This is something that Houston will face next year. C.J. Stroud, they're going to have an offseason to study this guy. You're going to know his tendencies. He's got to adjust. If he's going to be a great quarterback, he will. He will adjust. Same goes with defenses. Micah Parsons, a perfect example. I think offensive coordinators, I know he had 13-plus sacks, but really when you look back on the season, did Micah Parsons, in your mind, have any memorable impact on the Cowboys defense? Other than he wasn't getting holding calls.
Well, he wasn't getting holding calls. He did have, I forget which game, but a sack late in the game that sealed the win. And that was the only one.
My point is they figured that out. And I think they figured him out, and he's going to have to evolve as well.
One of the things, and whether you're talking about a Micah Parsons or a TJ Watt, players of that caliber, Bosa, they draw so much attention that's the impact that they're having. It doesn't show up on stat sheets. I look at Tank Lawrence. Everybody, Tank Lawrence's game has dropped off. I thought Tank had a great year. He might not be making the flash plays that we're seeing, but I think he was still a very impactful player, partly watching, but then also hearing what the coaches are saying about individual performances. And when I look at, all right, Mike is drawing 2.5 guys over here, and Tank Lawrence is getting 2, yet Odigizua is getting sacks. All right, did Odigizua get that much better, or nobody's paying attention to him and he was able to get home? That's the impact that he's having. So I do think Micah Parsons still had a major impact, but we're a stats-driven society that we're looking at those sack numbers, and part of that is Micah Parsons brings that on himself.
He does.
He talked about, sack goals during training camp, and you're not getting there. And also I think to a degree, I don't think it needs to be an edge rusher every time. Pick and choose. There are, I think, better ways for Micah to impact this defense. Not the greatest of run stopper, but sometimes, Micah Parsons in coverage, Micah Parsons playing traditional linebacker probably isn't a bad thing. And my goodness, if it gives the offense a different look that they're not prepared for, how is that not better for the Cowboys defense?
Well, it is. And I mean, just common sense will tell you if Micah Parsons, who I don't know what Micah weighs, a couple 100 pounds,
well,
a little
like
more
people,
maybe, right?
Yeah.
Going up against 700 pounds, eventually you're going to wear down. And typically had 2 linemen on him most of the time. And I do. And I think he's got to evolve. And that's one thing that I'm talking about. Whether it's Dan Quinn or somebody else coming in, you got to evolve with this guy. He's an athlete. He makes plays. He can do things. He's quick. And just lining him up there to be an edge rusher, play after play after play, I think, as shown, it's not a good idea. Move him around. Again, have some imagination with this guy.
What I would really, when Dan Quinn is done interviewing for all these other jobs, when the Cowboys do their self-scout, and we'll never know the answer to this. We won't. They won't share it with us. But they keep data on what's called. They got guys, every time Dan Quinn calls something, they're marking that tape. They know what they called, so they know what went wrong on every play. This is what should have happened. I am very curious to know when it's all said and done, like that Green Bay game, when they refused to, go man. They stayed in zone. They weren't trying to stop the run. Aaron Jones is running all over, and they did that seemingly the entire game with no adjustment. Were the players out of position? Were the players making mistakes and they still feel like they called the right defense in that situation? Or was something going on with what Dan Quinn was doing? Is there an injury somewhere? Somebody couldn't do something, so they were, while we don't know that, were they basically playing that game with a hand tied behind their back? I mean, reasons and excuses, but they know the reasons, right? And when they self-scout, what do they determine what went wrong? And if there is thorough in their self-scouting, as Mike McCarthy makes it seem that they are, and every coaching staff, whether you're talking about at the high school level, college level, they all talk about how they self-scout. But they're the only ones that truly know what went wrong or right on a particular play. Because there's a lot of plays where good things happen.
Sure.
Where somebody screwed up, but they lucked into making an incredible play.
Do they have a box that they can check on that self-scout where it's just we took these guys for granted and we didn't show up to play? Well, I mean, could it be just that simple? Because you look at offense, defense, the whole thing. They didn't show up.
No.
I mean, they did not show up. And I just think it was an attitude that we're at home. We're playing the 7th seed. We're the Dallas Cowboys. We don't have to show up. And then Green Bay comes, punches them in the mouth, and they didn't know how to respond to it. And I think that is, more than anything else, is a huge part of what went wrong. And when that poop started rolling downhill, there was no way that the Cowboys would stop.
No, they stepped on it. So the question, and again, self-scouting, if you're Mike McCarthy, were they overlooking Green Bay? Or, we're at home, we've won 16 straight, we're so good in this building, blah, blah. Or was the pressure so great that they couldn't deal with it? It's not that they were overlooking it. Were they so tight that they could not perform as a team? The message to the team before the game wasn't, it's Green Bay, man. We're all, second quarter, we're already looking ahead for the next opponent, man. We're breaking out Detroit film. Or the pressure to win that game was so great collectively as a group all week long, kind of like the San Francisco game, where they just talked about how big it was and how important it was, and they went out and laid an egg. Could it have been that? They weren't overlooking Green Bay. They couldn't handle the pressure of the situation.
I don't think that they thought that Green Bay was going to come in with the kind of firepower and physicality that they did. And I think it caught them by surprise. I really do. I think it caught Dallas by surprise. They take that opening drive, they drive down the field, and they score. And I think Dallas finally said, hey, wait, we got to play. These guys came here to play. And they could not change the course of what happened. I believe that that's what happened. And I don't think they expected that kind of a punch from the Packers.
I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, it might be a combination of both. They were thinking they had this one. I mean, it's Green Bay. They're the 7th seed. We're the Cowboys. We're playing at home, but they're still playing with that pressure to not lose the game as opposed to going out there to try to win. And you know what it's like when pressure is on. Bad analogy, but it's like people that just can't take a test. There are people out there that, they get all A's, they absorb everything, but it comes to taking that test. and they fail miserably.
Yeah, well, that's
there are people out there that just aren't good test takers,
and there's a bunch of them wearing stars on their helmets.
You wonder.
Apparently,
I mean, you wonder because they cruise through that semester.
Yeah,
get
to the test,
and then they take the test and they can't do it.
Yeah,
you wonder did they spend too much time studying, and all of a sudden,
or not enough.
Because they look so well prepared.
Everybody, including us, and we talked about this, and you were the only one, Pledge and I both, I think, arrogant Cowboy fan. Green Bay's nothing. Can't wait for that Detroit rematch. And every 90% of the people were looking ahead.
Oh, absolutely.
Looking past Green Bay. And I think the Cowboys kind of fell into that as well. I really do.
I mean, when you look at, and I'm guilty of it, I mean, you were guilty of it, although you kept bringing up the question. It's not like you went Green Bay because there was no way the Cowboys were going to lose that game.
I didn't think they were going to lose that game.
Most of the predicting shows were picking the Cowboys.
Everybody. I don't know of anybody that picked Green Bay to win that game.
I mean, I imagine even in Wisconsin, they were picking Dallas.
Of course they were.
Just like most people were picking Cleveland.
Yes.
Because Cleveland had destroyed Houston a couple of weeks before. I don't know.
It's the NFL, and that's what happens. But it just goes to show, right? Any given Sunday, you can't take anybody for granted. And the Cowboys found that out. And, it wasn't San Francisco this time. It was the 7th-seeded Green Bay Packers with a first-year quarterback. I know he's been in the league a while, but first year starting. And he punched him in the mouth. And here we're talking about next year. Again.
So, Mr. Rice-educated ND Kalu, who should have been on about 20 minutes ago. My bad. I had no idea it was this late. The hell is he doing?
I had no idea it was this late.
Apparently, he didn't know it was almost 4:00.
Is he on the West Coast?
I have no idea. I have no idea. We'll text him and try to get him on.
There you go. There you go.
Got to talk with him. You think he was taking a nap?
It's the easiest way to lose track of time.
You think he was caught up in some high-powered business meeting? He's a real estate mogul down there in Houston.
Could be. Maybe he's trying to get an Airbnb for a PGA Tour player.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe he got caught up watching all those judge shows in the afternoon
Could
just lost track of time like my mother does.
It was on a Kickers podcast.
Exactly. We'll connect with ND Kalu coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Injuries do happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get straight to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
It's R&R in the morning.
Wednesday on R&R in the morning. The Spurs are home for a week or so, and they're welcoming in the other rookie. His name is Chet Holmgren. He ain't the star that we think he is, or is he? The battle in San Antonio. We'll talk about it.
The NFL coaching carousel continues to turn round and round and round. Plus, is this the worst Dallas Cowboys offseason ever? Only in its second week. Bring your coffee. We'll talk about it at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting roles for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fail fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
This year, every plate is serving up their most sizzling deal yet. $1 steak every single week. Not only can you dig into 10 ounces of delicious steak for just $1, but you can enjoy every plate's other tasty meals for just $1.49 each. Whether you're resolving to save money or just want to enjoy every bite in 2024, America's Best Value Meal Kit has you covered. Get started with $1 steak every week and meals for $1.49 each with code MSJ49 at everyplate.com. Everyplate.com.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We're honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Friday at our Bourbon and Brews Party. Head over to Twin Peaks Fridays from 5 to 7 and experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Cheers!
They're local, they're San Antonio, and they know sports. They're R&R in the morning, KTFM Floresville, and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's.
Head coach Adrian Griffin, he was hired in the summer to replace Mike Budenholzer. There are reports that Doc Rivers is a serious candidate to replace Griffin. Well, the Spurs gave up 70 to Joel Embiid, but the good news is they only lost by 10, and they're headed home to kick off a 7-game homestand tomorrow night against OKC.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Tuesday. It's 4:01. In 10 seconds right now.
Yeah. You think guys that went to Rice could tell time?
You would think.
You would think so.
I mean, you know, we've got a standing appointment at 3:35-ish that we're going to have ND Kalu on every Tuesday.
I mean, I don't know. Rice, I've heard it's a pretty good place.
Well, and then when you get a text from somebody that went to Rice, sorry, man, I had no idea it was this time or this late.
Yeah.
You just getting up from a nap, man, or what?
Well, you know, the last two, y'all were so late.
So my body clock was just kind of getting in line with when I jumped on. But you know what? All excuses aside, I literally thought about y'all this morning. I was like, oh man, I'm looking forward to this call because Jason finally has something in common with me now. Both of our teams lost, even though ours was later in the playoffs. But I just forgot and lost track of time. Like when I saw that I missed your call, I was like, good God, it's past 3:30. I really thought it was like 1.
Well, I mean, have you had lunch yet?
Well, you know, I'm on that intermittent fasting where you don't.
Of course you
first
are.
meal till 6 o'clock. So
see that's why you lose track of time because you're hungry as hell. You want to have lunch. You can't keep up with your kid, man. You're not going to look as good as your kid. You're retired now. You can have a donut and a sandwich at lunch.
Forget the kid. I'm trying to look as good as you with all the weight you lost over the years, and then you're still posting all the barbecuing. I'm like, how are you doing it? So yeah, but all those people that are intermittent fasting and they act like they feel great, they're lying.
Indeed, your bar is low, my friend. You're trying to look like Minix.
I mean, Andy, where are you tipping the scale these days?
About 270.
Can you lose 100? No. And if you did,
he wouldn't look good if he lost 100. No.
I mean, we were out at a deal this morning at the Valero Texas Open with a pro golfer named Corey Connors. He's not an overly big guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the first comment on the picture was, will somebody get Minix a stool? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, Minix looked like I brought him to work. It was my
did.
son to work day.
That's how every picture with me. I mean, you know, in a couple weeks we'll be in Vegas on Radio Row and we'll take a picture next to somebody. And and like with you, Indy, even if I was standing on a chair, you would still tower over me.
Look, the towering over we can't control, but yeah, there's no reason for me to. Now I'm not fat. I'm still thick, but I'm like, you know what? I want to see if I could get down to my college weight of like 240.
240.
Last time I'm gonna see. I'm trying to.
You're a defensive end, not a safety.
Safeties aren't 240.
Well, nowadays some of them are. My head is so fat when I lose weight, like my head looks overly big. Like
you look like a bobblehead.
Yeah. So that's not a good look.
See, there's a reason not to diet right there.
Exactly.
I mean, and you say that. I mean, Indy's in better shape than all of us.
Absolutely.
Will always be in better shape than all of us. He eats well and says it's good.
He mixes in a salad.
No, I'm not one of those guys. Like, I'll tell you, like, what I'm eating is trash, but I'm just doing it to lose weight. I'm not going to – I hate when those people are like, oh, man, this water and kale tasted awesome. It's like, no, it doesn't. No. Like,
all right.
at least be real.
Andy, be honest, man. When you eat like trash, what does that actually mean for you?
3 McDonald's cheeseburgers.
3?
And
only 3?
Fries. Yeah, double cheeseburgers.
Oh, double cheeseburgers.
Nice.
And you know what's funny? I ordered that. I'll say 3 double cheeseburgers, large fries. And you know what I order for the drink?
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
You're a bad joke walking, man. Mr. Dad Joke himself. He is living proof of it. How often do you actually go to McDonald's?
Oh, you know what? I haven't done that in a long time.
There you go. When was the last time you ate like trash?
You know what? It's been about 3 or 4 months.
Good for you.
Yeah,
good for you. I had a nice pizza on Sunday that was delicious. Had all the toppings on it, all the meat.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
That's eating
Somebody
trash for you.
Do some real research and say, why is the worst food for you taste the best? Like, it's almost not fair. Like pizza, cheeseburgers, like to me, chips. Like, I love chips, regardless of what flavor or brand. I just love chips. Like, why is all the bad food the ones that taste the best?
I don't know.
It's bad.
I'm with you there because, I mean, you know, I don't really want anything green ever. No green vegetables.
See, I don't mind that.
Ever. Dude, I order beef and broccoli with no broccoli and carrots. I want the fried rice and the beef. Right?
Can you just order that, though?
Yes.
Just tell them I want fried rice and beef.
Well, no, I asked because the beef is different for the beef and broccoli than the beef fried rice.
Different sauce or
so,
what?
Yeah, different sauce and different beef. So, and the way I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, but it's different than if you order, say, beef fried rice. So you order the beef and broccoli with no broccoli.
I like that.
Dude, I can't wait for that server to go back to the chef and say, hey, I'm just don't kill the messenger.
Dude, I do it all the time. And then you end up with more beef, too, because they're not filling up that little box with that green stuff that you're going to pick out and leave on the plate.
I like that. I'm going to have to try that next time.
Try that next time. It works. I promise you. So what happened to your Texans, man?
Reality. I mean, when I was watching that game, and I'll say this, if I was being real, even after halftime, when the score was 10-10, there was something in me was like, you know what, it felt like Lamar Jackson didn't quite wake up just yet, and you just got the sense that Baltimore, mainly Lamar Jackson, was going to play at a different level in that second half, and that's exactly what we saw.
You know, what I was impressed by, though, Houston could not run the football at all. They had no running game at all, but C.J. Stroud was still doing his thing, and obviously the defense played great in that first half. But, man, you know, and I love D'Amico Ryans, ND, but I think he got out-coached at halftime.
You know, and I'm a little biased because obviously played not just played with D'Amico, but just had nothing but ultimate respect for him. I don't know if he got out-coached or if the team with the most talent just prevailed. I mean, when you look at that Ravens roster, I keep talking about Lamar Jackson, who's probably going to win his second NFL MVP, but it's not just Lamar Jackson. I mean, Zay Flowers was an awesome find. Odell Beckham Jr. is like their fourth option. Then you got guys like Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, probably your best linebacker tandem. I mean, this is a deep team. Matabuike, the defensive tackle, who's going to his first Pro Bowl. Then you have old guys like Kyle Van Noy, and I don't know if y'all noticed, former Texan Jadeveon Clowney, those first couple of series, I mean, he had an impact. So I personally, I don't know if he was out-coached or if the talent, the superior talent of the Ravens just started to shine through in that second half.
Probably a combination of both, as we visit with ND Kalu here on the Blitz as he joins us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. ND, decade plus in the NFL, you can answer this question better than Joe and I, and we were talking about this earlier, because obviously the future seems bright in Houston. But Bobby Slowick interviewing for jobs elsewhere, quarterback coach. I mean, they're going to lose players off the roster. You're going to lose some guys off the staff. But looking at like Philadelphia, for example, they go to the Super Bowl. They lose both their coordinators to head coaching jobs, and they weren't the same team. Even though they started 10-1, they weren't the same team. Can you talk to us about what impact coordinators have year to year on the overall success of a team?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, you can argue with many teams in many situations where the coordinators are more important than the actual head coach. When I was with the Philadelphia Eagles back when we were winning the division and, getting close to the Super Bowl and actually made it to the Super Bowl, I looked at our defensive coordinator, Jim Johnson, may his beautiful soul rest in peace, as our head coach. Like he was our when I say the defensive side of the ball, we looked at him like he was our head coach. I mean, he's the guy that we reported to daily. He's the guy that drew up the plays, that called the plays, that called those great aggressive blitzes, that helped make Brian Dawkins a Hall of Famer. Like, he was our guy. Andy Reid was the head coach, and he's the best head coach that I've ever been with because he knows how to delegate. But, I mean, that's a great question. There are times where I believe the coordinators are, if you have a humble head coach who has enough, what's the word I'm looking for, has enough confidence in himself, and he doesn't mind hiring great coordinators and letting them do their things, in that scenario, your coordinators are more important than your head coach. So it's huge if you lose one of those superstar coordinators.
Well, we saw the impact on the Philadelphia Eagles, I think, losing their coordinators, and now they're going to have to go out and find coordinators again. Have you ever been in a situation, ND, where the head coach, and I don't know this that anybody told me, but it looks that way, that Sirianni had to fire those guys to keep his job?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think. No, we were so bad they fired the whole staff. But no, it's obvious. I mean, with Sirianni, it's obvious that Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, said, "Hey, if you want to keep your job, these guys got to go." So it's obvious that happens. I haven't been a part of a team where they kept the head coach, but they fired the coordinator. But no, it happens, and players, they understand. And I'll tell you this: if you're a player that has any pride in yourself, you tell your guys, like, "Hey, we just got coach fired. We got coach fired because we didn't play the way we're supposed to play." Now, there are some coordinators that are so bad. Like, I played with Richard Smith. He was a coordinator in Houston my first year here. He's the worst coach in the history of the NFL, and I have no idea how he got the job. And when we played bad, it was like, nah, that one's on coach. Like, that was like, most of the time we'll say, like, I'll be the first one to raise my hand and be like, you know what, I got my ass beat that game, or I took the wrong angle on this stunt. But his calls were so confusing. And after his meeting, we actually had defensive backs who've been in the league 10 years after a Richard Smith meeting, and they would say, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do this week. So then the individual coaches would have to, kind of coach you up. So in that scenario, yeah, you put it on the coach, but it's very rare that you have a coach of that bad.
So is Coach Smith coming over for dinner tonight?
He come over. He gonna. I have 2 pugs, and when they defecate, I'll put it on a plate and serve it to him, and that's what he can eat.
Love it, love it. ND Kalu here on the Blitz. So when we hear the term self-scouting, take us through what when a coaching staff says they self-scout, exactly what does that mean?
So, like, if you self-scout, if you're an offensive coordinator, you'll watch film of every single call that you made during the season, if you're a good one, and you'll see if there are any tendencies that a good defensive coordinator can pick up on. So if you notice that 50%, no, that's not a good number. If 70% of your second and shorts were passes to the flat, then you say to yourself, okay, we need to change that up because it's too obvious what we're doing in that situation. And if you're self-scouting as far as your talent, if you notice that one guy or somebody's getting beat often, then you say to yourself, you know what, during the draft, we need to spend a second, third round pick and bring in competition for this guy. So it's really looking at yourself from the opponent's point of view to see where you can improve or if you're tipping off any tendencies.
Well, Indy, let's go back to Houston because in the offseason, they signed a bunch of guys to one-year contracts. Are they going to have a tough time keeping some of those guys, or do you think this team comes back pretty much intact?
It's going to be tough, and this is where you have to now take the emotion out of it and be that cutthroat jerk general manager who happens to be very successful. And what I mean by that, man, this was such a magical year, and you're probably laughing like 10-7. How's that a magical year? Well, the expectations were, 4-13 or 5-12. And for them to go into the second round of the playoffs and to end the season the best team in the state of Texas by far, it was a magical season. So you can't fall in love with some of the guys that helped you get there. You still have to know that you have to improve. If you want to get past the Baltimore Ravens, if you want to be in the same situation that the Detroit Lions are in, the San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City, you have to let go of some of those emotional stars that kind of grew on some of the fans here and say, hey, we have to upgrade a middle linebacker. We have to upgrade with our offensive guard. We have to upgrade in the defensive backfield and not just fall in love with some of those guys that helped you get here.
Interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
It really is.
So future's bright in Houston, is it not?
It is, and this is more of a statement on the NFL, and this is why I believe the NFL is the greatest league in the world. With as great as a season, or as good as a season the Texans have had, and the trajectory's looking up, we've all seen it. I mean, this team, if you don't do the offseason the way you're supposed to do the offseason, it could be 7-10 next year. So, yeah, the future is bright, but Nick Caserio, D'Amico Ryans, they can't, kick back and put their feet on the table and fist bump each other. It's like they need to get on that grind. They need to go watch the San Antonio Brahmas and see if there's a hidden jewel there. They need to go find who are going to be the guys to help get to the next level.
Who's going to Super Bowl, ND?
You know what? I just feel like it's going to be Kansas City, San Francisco. I want Detroit in there, but I think those are the two best teams.
Interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
How about that?
Who y'all?
Well, that Patrick Mahomes guy is pretty good.
Hard to bet against him,
Yeah,
but Lamar needs it. Anybody but San Francisco.
I'm a Detroit fan. I'm with you. I think
mean,
everybody wants Detroit.
I mean, Aaron Glenn is such a good guy. So is Dan Campbell. I want them to win.
Yeah.
I don't know that they can. If it's raining and they don't have a Debo, Detroit has a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I want Dan Campbell, like, seeing him crying at the press conference because he's so emotionally attached to his team. I love that. I know some people laugh at it, but y'all are right. Lamar needs it. Like, Lamar, he's starting to become that James Harden type guy where you think, oh, he's great in the regular season, but he drops off in the postseason.
Are you talking about James Harden or Dak Prescott? Look, I got there before Joe because anytime he can get the low-hanging fruit.
So I would love to see Lamar get over the hurdle, but I just think Patrick Mahomes is still that guy right now.
Yeah, good stuff. Now that the season is over, when do you and D'Amico get together for beers?
Well, neither one of us drink, so maybe we'll just
well, when did that happen? No, I forgot. You stopped drinking. When do you get together for waters?
Yeah, some waters. And well, he has a baby on the way, so yeah, he's not getting together with anybody. He's about to have some daddy duty.
Nice.
There's more reason to get out and go see his buddy ND Kalu.
That's it.
Exactly. Tell the family he's going to work, and I'll meet him at the facility.
Exactly. Good stuff. ND, always appreciate you, man.
All right, always appreciate. So are we on next week, or how are we doing this?
We're on next week. Set an alarm in your phone for 3:30.
Okay, so we'll talk playoff football, right?
Yeah.
Now, real quick, is it the San Antonio Brahmas? Is that the UFL?
Yeah, that's the team. You got it right. With Wade Phillips as the head coach.
Are y'all covering that, or Jason? Are you calling the games? What we got going on?
No discussion on that part of it. I did the Commanders last year. The XFL didn't do any radio. UFL, I don't know if they're at that point yet, but yeah, I mean, we had Wade in studio the other day.
It was fun.
I saw that picture. I was the social media stalking y'all, so I did see that. So congrats.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get The Rock in there to promote that thing.
Yeah, well, the request has been made.
Yes. Numerous times.
All right, cool. I'll talk to y'all next.
Good stuff. ND Kalu on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. You talk about all those coaches and the importance of the coordinators, and what Indy said may be more impactful than I think people realize.
Yeah.
Well, one coordinator has left Cincinnati. He's taken the head coaching job from at Tennessee. What about the other open jobs? Where will Dan Quinn land, if anywhere? We'll dive into all of that next. Stop on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
That would be an unexpected curveball, would it not? And life is full of those unexpected curveballs. You ever been hit with challenges that leave your smile in the dust? Well, I've got something uplifting for you from Doctor's Implants. Life can throw some serious hurdles our way. And at Doctor's Implants, they meet patients every day facing the fallout of medical conditions causing their teeth to go south. Here's the scoop, though. At Doctor's Implants, they are on a mission to bring back your smile no matter what life throws your way. So if health-related dental problems have been holding you back, don't lose hope. Doctor's Implants is your ticket to a fresh start. Check them out at doctorsimplants.com. And when you call them up at 210-640-0000 and mention me, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz, well, that's your key to a complimentary consultation and CT scan. Don't let life's challenges steal your smile. Check out Doctor's Implants, 210-640-0000.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roo Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness Program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the UFC fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Celebrating 10 years in business, the Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jay Semenix. Glad to have you along on this nasty kind of Tuesday afternoon.
Nasty day.
It is nasty out there.
I guess.
I mean,
we can't see it.
Well, it's fine. There's nothing to look at.
You think it's nasty?
It was nasty when I got up early this morning to go out to TPC San Antonio. It was nasty when I left there to come to work. Haven't seen the outside world yet, but I don't think it's changed much.
It could have.
Well, I mean,
it was raining when we left TPC.
Mm-hmm.
So
we need the rain.
Do we?
Sure.
What do you work for the aquifer?
Don't we always need the rain?
That's what they tell us.
I mean, I've had my sprinkler system has skipped the last 2 weeks because of the rain.
Well, yeah,
So
but
that's good.
Well, yeah, I turned mine off because of the freeze.
Yeah.
I didn't want, what happened to the nuns that live across the street from you.
See, I can just hit a skip button on mine. I don't have
Yeah.
to turn it off.
Skip?
Skip.
Well, I just turn it off. What the hell's the difference?
I mean, because you got to remember to turn it back on.
Not a problem.
Oh, for you?
Yeah.
Somehow I doubt that.
But they always tell you need the rain. Have you noticed that? It could rain 6 inches, and I'm saying, wow, we need the rain.
Well, because so much of that just ran off.
Well, I mean, I don't get it.
I'm not surprised, Bill Taylor.
Well, I don't get it.
I'm not surprised.
Well, he's the guy that's always telling me we need more.
Well, because it gives them something to do.
I
mean, how
suppose.
bored do you get saying it's going to be sunny and hot?
Well, in the summertime, I'm sure they do get bored saying
But
that.
he still has 8 minutes of weather time to tell us that it's going to be sunny and hot.
He's a pretty boy. People want to look at him.
Seriously?
I guess. I don't know.
We're talking about Bill Taylor?
Well, I used to hear that all the time as a sports guy in the TV world.
What
But
did
the
you hear?
number one reason people watch local news is for the weather. So I had to deal with that and say, well, I guess somebody cares if they watch sports, but it's all about the weather.
Going way off topic.
We don't ever do that.
Never. But doesn't it make you wonder sometimes? Sports is the number one television show out there. Right? What did that game do the other day? 50 million people?
50 million.
50 million people watch Chiefs and Bills.
Yeah.
According to CBS.
50 million.
It's the only appointment television out there.
Yes.
Now, I understand people need to know if it's going to rain. I understand that, there are parts of the country where farmers are very clued in on the forecast.
Of course, sure.
But they also have 17 weather apps on their phone. I mean, Rob Thompson has 8 on his phone. and Rob Thompson, I
only have 1, by the way.
When Rob was, between working for EA Sports in Florida and then coming to work here, in between there, he was driving boats on the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
Weather apps were very important to Rob Thompson,
course,
and
yes.
that's certainly understandable. So he's got them all.
Okay.
I mean, Rob is a de facto weather guy, right?
Yeah.
And I think about local news. If it bleeds, it leads, right? A car wreck here, a car wreck there, here a car wreck, there a car wreck, but sports or tell me good local stories.
That's it.
I mean that, because you're right. I've seen the highlights or I've seen the score of whatever game, but the local high school sports story or the feature story when you're up covering the Cowboys and, you do 5 or 6 interviews in a week to give you stories to tell all week. That's what people want.
See, it used to drive me nuts. And this is even before social media. It's like, wow, man, people want to watch sports. They're watching ESPN. I'm like, well, ESPN's not covering the Spurs the way I'm covering the Spurs or covering Judson High School the way I covered Judson High School or this. And so it was a battle. And I'm just telling you, sports guys in local TV have to do that battle.
And again, weather guy gets 8 minutes and the sports guy gets 2.5 to 3.
Well, I used to get 3.
You used to get 3.
I used to get 3.
But how often did they say, hey, you need to cut 30 seconds because Bill Taylor went long?
If there was a storm or something, yeah, I would have to. Well, not necessarily because Bill, I'll be honest with you. He was pretty respectful of my time. I would give him that credit. But if there was an election or a storm or whatever, I just took the night off.
Took the night off? Just stick around to eat the free pizza in the newsroom?
No, I couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to. I mean, if I had the night off, I had the night off. So it's always good because I could always plan like this year, we're going into a big election in November. I'd have that day off.
Didn't even go in?
No.
A free day off?
Yeah, free day off.
I get that.
It's perfect.
Just make sure you're careful on watering your lawn on the right day.
I know. I've never gotten a ticket.
I've gotten a ticket.
You have.
Well, and my neighbor Hal just sent me a picture of the ticket he got in the mail today. Appearance notice. And Hal's a lawyer.
But it rained, and Hal still had his sprinklers on?
Well, I'm guessing when it was raining, the picture doesn't show when he was busted for it. But I tell you what, those water police are out there.
They're out there.
I mean, because I was in the Bahamas, right? In the Bahamas, and I was watering on my day, but in the wrong time. And I still don't understand how my system which is set up and runs, whatever, something happened and it triggered the wire. I had no idea.
Well,
right?
what time? And I'm going to make a point here. What time were your sprinklers going off?
It was 3-something
in the morning.
In the morning. But that's outside of the 7 to 11 window or whatever it is.
Okay, well, what difference does it make?
But I'm like, when it said I did, I'm in the Bahamas. I can prove that. Then I looked at my security cameras, and you see the little water police car. It just pulls right
You're
up.
watering on the right day.
I'm watering on the right day, but not at the right time.
See, that's
they got you.
They got you.
They got some guy that gets paid to drive around in his car. And it's marked. I mean, you can see it. I'm like, oh, there he is.
The man is always watching.
Well, and again, they said exactly what time they
Big Brother
witnessed. And
Big
what
Brother's
and then what
always
sucked was
watching
when I went to go fight this thing. If your neighbor turns you in, you don't get a fine. You just get a sternly worded letter. But if they catch you,
that little dude in the white cart,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. If he catches you,
you're screwed, and you can't fight it. That's the part that sucks.
Well, they got you. He's probably got pictures. He's got video.
Yeah, they got pictures. They got all of that. You're guilty. I mean, I didn't say I wasn't not guilty, but I'm saying, circumstances. Here's my ratio system. Here's what time it's supposed to be running. I don't know why it was not running. And by the way, I was in the Bahamas.
It was a
now,
malfunction.
Granted, at 3:00 in the morning, I wouldn't have noticed that the water was on anyway. Right? It pissed me off.
It was a malfunction.
And what sucks about it is they send it to municipal court. So you've got to go down there. They can't just tack the fine onto your water bill. You got to go actually down to court. You cannot fight it.
Wow. Kicking the little guy.
Dude, it sucks.
Kicking the little guy.
You want to talk about trash can fines next? Or
No.
HOAs? I got a nasty letter from our HOA.
Well, you ought to fix your fence.
I did. I fixed the fence.
You fixed it.
I did.
You?
I did. I did.
That's a funny story.
I literally fixed the fence. It will. I mean, a little broken part of the fence. I don't know how it broke. It probably Hal's kids broke it, but not that I could prove that or anything. But it's on that side of the I never go over there ever. But one board was apparently broken. Not apparently, it was broken.
So somebody with the HOAs walking the neighborhood with a camera.
Well, and yeah, and how they could see that from the road is beyond me.
Dude,
the HOA people are
don't even
just,
get me started.
Oh, they're a different breed.
Yes, they are. But that work
Them
you
people.
did for yourself, I'd have to see that for myself. Yeah, and I could see it very clearly now because of my good friends at Parker.
Come on over and check it out. You can see it from the road.
I know I can. I can see it from anywhere right now. Parkhurst New Vision has done that for me. And man, I tell you what, I'm thrilled. I can see better now than I've seen in 30 years. In fact, my results were so good at Parkhurst New Vision that my wife, Maggie, decided to get her eyes done, and she is loving the results as well. And you can join us. In fact, you should join us. Call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020. You can check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. When you call them, you make an appointment for a consultation. You go in there, you have the list of questions that you want to ask. Tell them that Joe Reinigle from the Blitz sent you. Will you do that for me? And then ask every question that you have. They'll answer those questions, and they will take care of you the way they've taken care of my family. Parkhurst New Vision, the best in the business. Call them today, 210-585-2020.
It's R&R in the morning.
Wednesday on R&R in the morning. The Spurs are home for a week or so, and they're welcoming in the other rookie. His name is Chet Holmgren. He ain't the star that we think he is, or is he? The battle in San Antonio. We'll talk about it.
The NFL coaching carousel continues to turn round and round and round. Plus, is this the worst Dallas Cowboys offseason ever? Only in its second week. Bring your coffee. We'll talk about it at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more straight talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it.
And now get a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. Find us at straighttalk.com. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only, excludes taxes and fees.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Find LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, known for top performance, durability, and innovative features, and ideal for tough tasks like mowing, tilling, plowing, and hauling. LS Tractors are your reliable choice for farm, ranch, and landscaping needs. Experience unmatched dealer support at Dietz Tractor for parts and maintenance. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships. Take advantage now. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin. LS Tractors, start blue, stay blue. Dietz Tractor.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Yourself a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market on Thursday. He's Joe. I'm Jason. The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. What else can we bitch about?
Well, I'm just saying, isn't free money the best money?
Well, yeah.
And that's why we gamble. That's why we take a chance on winning $2,024.
You pay the $137 fine for watering when it's not your time.
$50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Free money is the best money.
If it's free, it's for me.
Absolutely. Although I when I gamble, it's not really free money if I win, because I sweated out that entire game, 4 quarters, 48 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think you can, the outcome. Maggie asked me that one time. Well, you think you can, if you watch it, you have to watch it? Yes, because there's something about watching it that I can change the outcome.
Well, it's certainly, no, you can't change the
But
outcome.
I feel like I can. I feel like if I don't watch it, I'm going to lose.
Who was the cook the other night for Buffalo going into the fourth quarter? And if these numbers, I don't have it in front of me, so I might be a little bit off. But I want to say his over, if you're betting his rushing total, was like 61.5.
Yeah.
And he was at 67. And he lost 4, lost 3, lost 2. And, there it is. Pledge found it. Look at that. So James Cook had 67 yards going into the fourth quarter. His rushing total was 61.5. His final 4 carries, -3, -4, 0, and 1 to put him at 61. So you thought you were in the money, and then you weren't.
That sucks.
That's a bad beat.
Well, I had several games where a doink off an upright cost me.
Yeah.
A penalty on a trick play cost me.
It happens.
Jeez.
It happens. I had an ankle sprain last night that cost me. I had Trey Jones at over 6.5 assists.
And
he left the game with 6.
Well, that's why they lost.
Well, no, they lost because they suck and they gave up 70 to one guy. But we're celebrating the fact that they only lost by 10.
Only lost by 10.
Which still baffles me. And you think about what Joel Embiid did last night. At some point in the second half, I think I stopped watching the Spurs and started watching Joel Embiid because you were watching something special.
Yeah.
And you knew it was special. And there wasn't the anger like earlier in the game where you couldn't just stop him, right? I mean, if he had only scored 40, I think I'd be mad as hell. But at some point, just as a sports fan, it just became something special to watch. But what pissed me off last night is after the game was over, and I look on Twitter as I start another episode of Reacher, and everybody is celebrating on Spurs Twitter the fact that they gave up 70, but only lost by 10. We were within 10 of Philadelphia.
That really surprised me, honestly, because I'm really, really pleased with the way the guys played tonight. I saw that a couple of different times.
Well,
and I'm like,
now, wait a minute. Now, there was reason to be pleased with individual performances in a losing effort.
Okay.
Because that's what we're looking for with this Spurs team.
Is?
Even though Greg Popovich told us at training camp this year is about winning, he has shifted to incremental growth.
Yes.
Teaching these guys how to be pros, even though they've been in the league for a couple of years. So I don't know what Pop has been doing with, say, Devin and Keldon and some of the others for the last couple of years, but this year we've got to learn how to be pros.
Well, and this team, I guess, what did they learn last year? Just how to tank?
Yes.
Okay, so that was the lesson last year, tanking.
And they are executing that lesson very well this year.
And so,
even though that's not the assignment.
Did they not get the memo this year? I don't know. That big dude from Purdue, he might be worth the number 1 pick. Put him beside Wemby, there'd be nobody getting through there. They could play for the Green Bay Packers. Have you seen that guy?
Yes.
He's huge.
But he shouldn't play for Green Bay. He would look awful in yellow pants, as most men do.
I'm just saying, he's huge.
You think about 70 last night. Take away the fact that it was at the expense of the San Antonio Spurs. Joel Embiid scored 70 last night. And you think, when you're in the conversations of, Wilt and a Michael Jordan and, the anniversary of Kobe dropping 81, that you went out and you scored 70, just how incredible that is. And it was fun to watch. At some point, Dan Weiss and Sean Elliott on the Spurs broadcast, I think, were kind of like me. You're just watching something incredible. How incredible? Did you see and hear Kevin Durant's reaction? He had a game last night, so he clearly wasn't watching. He was told by reporters that Embiid scored 70.
I don't know if you saw Joel Embiid score 70. Cat had 60.
70?
Yeah, Joel had 70 today. 58
He had 70?
Yeah. So what did nights like tonight mean in the NBA?
70. I mean, look, Spurs, I mean, there was no defense there. Yeah, Embiid was doing whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm, the first time this year he scored 70. Doesn't happen all that often. But I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, seriously.
Well,
and I know he's a great player.
It's not like Kevin Durant said he scored 70. He was playing the Spurs. Of course he did.
Well,
I mean, that's not what Kevin Durant said.
But he should have. He didn't know who he was playing. I bet Durant didn't know at that moment in time.
Oh, those guys know.
They didn't.
They know the schedule.
No,
they know who's playing.
They know who everybody's playing.
Yeah, sure.
No, they don't.
I mean, sure they do.
Now, if you'd have said, "Hey, Embiid scored 70 against Boston,"
well,
that would be whoa.
Well, I mean, it's possible, but he, certainly would have known that. But he wasn't. His answer wasn't, "Well, who are they playing?" If he didn't know it was the Spurs, his answer, like, "Holy crap, that dude scored 70."
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. What was it? David Robinson won the scoring title and scored, 72?
71, I think,
71?
right, against the Clippers?
Yeah.
Right?
It's remarkable.
It's certainly not great defensive film for the Spurs.
No.
But for Greg Popovich to be able to pop on that film as a learning experience for those guys, I guess he got his wish because,
what are they going to learn from that?
Well, what not to do. Don't let somebody score 70. Did Greg Popovich poke the bear before the game when he said that they were going to how did Pop say it?
We're going to hammer his ass.
Yeah.
I told Wemby to stick him, put your butt right in his stomach, back him down over the rim, and just throw him through the rim. That's what you can look forward to tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently.
Don't tell Wemby I said that.
Apparently, he didn't tell Wemby.
No, but they told Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid hammered the Spurs' ass.
Well, apparently, nobody told Wemby that he's supposed to guard Embiid. Embiid is, 7 foot?
Give or take. A little guy
he's
by
7
Wemby
foot.
standards.
Wemby's 7'3.5" is what I heard on the broadcast last night as I'm driving home.
7'3.5",
7'3.5".
I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, you got guys that are 6'9" measuring themselves against Wemby during a game and coming up to his shoulder.
This is you just look at the box score. There's not a lot of defense by either team, to be totally honest with you. 34 points. So what is that? 69 points in the first quarter. Second quarter, they decided to play defense. There was 51 there. But then you had 73 in the third and 63 in the fourth.
Math is hard.
It is hard. It really is a lot harder than I thought when I started that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 133 to 123. Not a lot of defense on either side.
We celebrate that the Spurs scored 123 points.
Wemby had 33 points. Can we celebrate that?
Well, and look.
In 28 minutes.
See Embiid not on a minutes restriction. I mean, whenever Wemby gets off of the restriction, he might score 100 or give or take, according to Joel Embiid.
Oh, he's great, man. He's got everything. Size, skill, got everything. There's nothing else to say. Bright future. He's already pretty good, but once it develops and his body also catches on, he's gonna be a lot of problems for a lot of guys in this league. But he's extremely talented.
Now, Wemby played 28 minutes. Isn't that exceeding his minutes restriction?
I think we're getting close to the restriction.
So they're just kind of easing him into it?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm so tired. And even Pop is tired of the minutes restriction for Wemby. Tired of, I guess, talking about it, asking about it. Pop said last night, whenever the docs tell him he's off it, he'll be off it.
That's got to be the worst ankle injury in the history of ankle injuries. I mean, typically you heal and you play. In Wemby's case, though, you don't.
Well, he is playing.
Well, yeah, but it's a minutes restriction.
On a minutes restriction.
But
yeah, he hasn't got a full release yet. It's not that complicated. It just seems dumb that he's still going through this.
No, it is
Pop
complicated.
thinks it's done. Well, Wemby finds it dumb. He wants to be off restriction. That
so
guy
what's
just
wrong
wants
with
to
his
go.
ankle?
Well, the docs haven't told him he could play 30 minutes yet. I don't know.
Well, don't you think they're looking at it, right? You would think.
Well,
on a regular basis, you might want to go, maybe not every day, but like a couple times a week. Well, let's check your ankle out. Let's see how it's doing.
Maybe he doesn't want all those co-pays. I don't know. I'm kidding.
It makes no sense to me. It seriously makes no sense. I mean, unless you're going to put them in bubble wrap because you're not doing anything for this year and you just don't want to wear them out.
It does feel like to me, and nobody has said this, but they probably wanted to sideline him for a while. And he said no, because I think Wemby is very clear that, even when he misses a game on a back-to-back, he doesn't want ankle injury on the designation. He wants rest. But I also know that he wants to be able to win Rookie of the Year, to be eligible for postseason awards. And with the new rules of the amount of games you have to play, I don't think Wemby, for an injury that he doesn't think is serious, is willing to take 2 or 3 weeks off completely and come back at 100%. So if a compromise was a minutes restriction, and I don't know that, but it feels that way, that he wants to play. He doesn't think he's hurt that bad. The doctors want to be cautious with him. What's the give and take? Don't put too much stress on it, so we're not going to play you 40 minutes a night.
Well, then that begs the question, is it the Spurs doctors or is it Wemby's doctors?
It sounds like the Spurs.
Well, I mean...
But we don't know. But, I mean, and again, in consultation with each other.
It's concerning, is it not? I mean, it concerns me because he is 7'3", 7'4", whatever 7'5", whatever he is today.
8'1".
Okay, so big guys
and feet problems.
So I'm just wondering, and I'm being dead serious when I say this. I mean, what is the problem? Why is this guy not healthy? According to whatever doctors he's listening to.
He's healthy enough to play at a high level in limited minutes, which hopefully goes away. I do think, though, you bring up, tall dudes like that and their foot problems that have ended a lot of careers, being extra cautious. Although this is an ankle, not a foot, but they are connected. I don't know.
Are they really? Dr. Minix, thank you.
We'll ask Dr. Bell, who's a real doctor, a little bit later in about an hour.
If the ankle's
on the
connected
injury
to the
update.
foot.
Well, we know it's connected. I mean, there's a whole song about it, about everything that's connected.
Yes.
But it's not like he's dealing with plantar fasciitis. It was a sprained ankle.
Right. But how long ago was that sprained ankle? It's been, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Well, it was last year, technically.
Of course.
But
dad joke.
You got that, James, huh? That was so funny. I could hear James laughing through the glass.
Well, it wasn't that funny.
I mean, ask James Pledger.
Pledge is easily amused.
So are you.
No. I think it's a legit
tomorrow.
concern. Why? If he's healthy, he's obviously playing well. Guy scored 33 points last night, 28 minutes. He's healthy. To me, it's a legit concern.
I would like to get him to 38 minutes.
Well, I'd like to get him. He didn't have to play 38 minutes.
Dude, I want 38 to 40.
Well,
he's young. And think about if you're getting what you got from Wemby last night in 28 minutes, add 10 more minutes. The guy is scoring more than a point a minute.
Maybe the Spurs only lose by 5.
Well, maybe they win by 1 because
you
give him 10 more minutes and he gets 12 more points. You lost by 10, right? Is playing him more the difference between winning some of these games and losing.
Well, obviously,
and I want to say yes. If he plays more, they've got a better chance at winning.
Well, obviously, that's not the
goal.
That's not the goal this year.
Yeah,
even though that's what we were told, that's obviously not the goal. So, I mean, they don't give a damn if they win. Pop laughs when he goes in the press conference, and he made the comment that, I'm going to get on their ass. Really?
Are you talking about laughing last night after?
Yes, it's exactly what I'm talking
score
about.
70.
Yes,
he's a fantastic player. Obviously in the running for MVP. That's for sure. But everybody already knew that, so it wasn't a surprise at all. He's wonderful. He's playing such an all-around game.
So you get your ass kicked and somebody drops 70. Maybe all you can do is laugh.
Look, obviously, and I guess we're going to have to get used to this again because last year you guys finally convinced me we were tanking. It worked out. This year I wasn't told we were tanking, and nobody seems to think that we're tanking, although the team is worse this year than it was last year when we got the big thing that we were tanking for last year.
I just go back. Greg Popovich said at training camp, this year is about winning.
I'm a simpleton.
And they have failed miserably at winning, and that is on Greg Popovich.
It's horrible.
Greg Popovich, the Spurs this year are sitting at 8-35.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got no fear of losing his job.
None.
The Milwaukee Bucks are 30-13, second in the East, and they fired their coach today. Make that make sense.
Giannis wanted that. It had to be that.
Mm-hmm. It is the Blitz here on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star. There's family drama in Dallas. There's drama down in Miami involving the NFL and Tyreek Hill.
TMZ thing, right?
Oh, yeah, the Kardashian segment next here on the Blitz.
I cannot wait to get back into the big blind. Went there this past weekend, had a blast. The Big Blind is the premier upscale poker room in San Antonio. It is incredible. And I like to say it's swanky. And I mean that in the best way. First class. This place is just nice. You walk in and you feel like you're in a Las Vegas casino. It is incredible. And my goodness, whether you're a poker player, experienced one or not, just starting out, doesn't matter. They're going to help you out in there. The Big Blind, it is open. It's been open for about a week now, and they are doing great. And it's a great place to go. You need to get in there and check it out. They've got daily cash games, daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. In fact, you can celebrate the spirit of poker at the Big Blind. You like Texas Hold'em, they've got it. Pot Limit Omaha, they've got it. Much, much more. In fact, yesterday, they were giving away $500 every 30 minutes. They're going to have stuff like that all the time, all kinds of different stuff. And we will keep you posted on what they're doing. But you need to get in there. Check it out. You can eat there from the Rue Pub. The food is fantastic. They've got a full bar, everything you would want. Plus, they've got more TVs in there than you know what to do with. The Big Blind, 281 in Redland Road. Get in there. You're missing out if you don't. Go see them. The Big Blind. Again, 281 and Redland Road.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com. Hi, it's Jason Minix from the Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
just like that. State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Crazy news out of Milwaukee today. They have fired their head coach, Adrian Griffin. He was just hired last summer to replace Mike Budenholzer, but it is also being reported that Doc Rivers is a serious candidate to replace Griffin. Cleveland Cavaliers center Tristan Thompson, he was suspended today 25 games without pay by the NBA for violating the league's anti-drug policy.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
For the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Tuesday afternoon, just after 5.
You made it. If you get off at 5, you made it through Tuesday, and the best day of the week is ahead.
Friday, it's still ahead.
Wednesday, hump day.
You have too many best days.
No, Wednesday's the best day. Friday's a close second. Thursday's baby Friday.
I think it's small Friday.
Well, it's baby Friday. Isn't it baby small? Could be the same thing.
What about Saturday?
Saturday's just Saturday.
Well, is that not a great day?
It's a great day.
Well, Sunday?
I don't know what the hell we're going to do on Saturday. What's everybody going to do on Saturday?
Well, you got to keep up with the gossip, and that's where we're getting at in this world. And there's some juicy stuff going on.
Juicy.
Yeah. Pull up a chair. You didn't, but somebody out there did. You watched Hard Knocks in season with the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
And
I didn't.
We just established that. But a big part of Hard Knocks was Tyreek Hill, who got married during the bye week.
He did.
He's got a newlywed. You know, his wife, a very big part of Hard Knocks. In fact, his wife is the sister of Kenny Vaccaro, if you remember him when he played in the NFL. Absolutely. Former Longhorn, played with the Saints and with your Titans, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So she was a big part of it. And then, you know, there's all this stuff going on. Well, the Miami Herald and the South Florida Sun Sentinel, reporting based on court records, say that Tyreek has filed for a divorce from his newlywed.
Wow.
His new bride. Just a couple weeks ago, they got married. Apparently it's over, according to the Miami Herald. Filed a petition for divorce. Okay. Well, then Tyreek sees that article and goes to Twitter and says, boy, no, the heck we didn't, so don't put that in the air. We are happily married and going to stay that way. So Tyreek Hill is denying that he has filed for divorce, but you got 2 reputable newspapers that have cited publicly available court records in support of their reporting.
Well, yes, I mean, and that's not fake. So do you think maybe he filed and then changed his mind and they kissed and made up?
Well, do you think he filed and hadn't told her yet?
Well, perhaps.
I've never gone through a divorce, Joe. How does the process work?
Well, it depends on, if you want to be, then it's
see, when 2 people truly hate each other.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying because, recently, their house caught on fire because some kid was playing with matches or a lighter.
Was it a kid?
Well, that's what it said.
I know it's what it said.
I mean, do you, if you're Tyreek Hill, because what did Tiger told her we were going on vacation? So
Yes.
pack stuff because we're going to be gone a while.
Change the locks.
So you want him out of the house?
Yes.
You think Tyreek did the paperwork and then was going to get her out of the house?
And if she heard this,
and now it's being reported.
Yeah, I don't know. That's drama. That's a lot of good drama in Miami.
Although, I mean, Tyreek Hill has made it Facebook official or Twitter official that they're still happily married, and it's going to stay that way.
Well, again, unless he's hiding it from her. If he's done for the season, he could go and say, "Hey, I bought these tickets to the Bahamas. Let's go. I'll meet you there."
Does anybody remember off the top of your head, because, it's all about scoreboard, but how many kids does he have in waiting right now? Is it 3? Right?
I don't know.
Is it 3 or 4? Because didn't he have a couple different...
Well, he had somebody accused,
Well, there was a couple pregnant women.
Right.
At the same time.
While he was getting married.
Not named Mrs. Hill. But they weren't Mr. and Mrs. Hill yet.
Uh-huh.
She married him with all of that.
Well, he's just practicing to become a porn star.
Well,
after football's
his
over.
career goals.
Yes, but he's going to have to learn that you might need a raincoat.
He's been in South Florida long enough. He should know that.
Well,
rains every day there.
Yeah.
He's fast, and apparently with fast swimmers.
Yeah, but that's why he needs a raincoat.
World class. Well, that's only 97%.
Well, it's better than 0%. Wow.
0% protection?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
this would be a better story on Wednesday.
We can carry it over. Look, Tyreek has probably got a lot to offer these women. And so he probably doesn't have any, and then you have your no willpower. So you just, that's what happens.
Well, I don't follow you.
I'm saying he's got a lot to offer. They know that. And so they say, come on. And he doesn't have the willpower to say, I'm married. He's got a big swinger. Apparently.
When you look at it, though, we don't know that he has stepped out since he's been married. There hasn't been a new she's pregnant story since he has been married. Granted, it's only a couple of weeks since he's been married.
The old ones aren't good enough?
Well, I don't know how the rules are at your place, but, if it was before your wife was your wife, you're kind of not going to get in trouble for that.
Well, it depends. Were you dating and was it serious? Because I don't know if anybody's dating and says it's serious, and then the girlfriend says, "That's all right, honey. You did that before we were married." I don't think it works that way.
If they married or dating.
Well, if they're dating, I don't think it works that way.
I'm just saying that Tyreek on Twitter has expressed that he's, happily married.
Uh-huh.
We are happily married and going to stay that way.
Yeah.
That's what he tweeted. Don't put this in the air.
The life of Tyreek Hill.
And again, not one, but 2 reputable newspapers citing court records.
And I don't think the courthouse is just making that up. Plus, pledge, could there be more than one Tyreek Hill in Miami?
Well, but isn't your address associated with that?
I don't know.
Again, I haven't been down that road, but I'm going to guess court records have data.
Well,
and if 2 newspapers are going to report it, they're going to do some verification before they announce that.
You would think so. Although it wouldn't be the first time that somebody got a story wrong.
It's not like the guy's name is a common name.
Hill is a common name.
Well, but it's not Jim Hill.
No. Could be Ty Hill.
I don't know how it's, but I'm guessing there's a way to double check and fact check before you go with that story.
I would assume that's the case.
But the other question I have is, wouldn't you file using fake names, John Doe, Jane Doe, or initials, something like that, so that it wouldn't be so readily available?
Well, you would think so.
Shouldn't his attorney have done it that way? Can't that happen?
I'm sure it can happen. All of the above can happen.
And they might be happily married.
They could be.
You know, the Hard Knocks people stopped filming, though, right?
I think
so. This isn't for the TV show.
I think they you know, his plan was to file for divorce, went home and told her.
But he hadn't gone home yet. That's the problem. Now she found out on Twitter.
Well, how do you know he hasn't gone home yet?
Well, I mean, you know, or maybe.
Are you following Tyreek Hill?
No, because he's on Twitter saying this ain't true.
Well, right.
He's denying what are available in court records.
That's what I'm saying. So he goes home. She realizes that he's about to leave. Got a lot to offer. She says, come on. Kissed and made up.
Yeah, well, maybe he just hasn't been able to get her out of the house yet before he breaks the news.
Well, or that could be happening too.
It's all possible.
Everything's possible.
And anything is possible. It's all out there. Now, while Tyreek is dealing with his drama, there is drama in Dallas. You got CeeDee's mom talking. You've got Dak's brothers talking. You've got Micah Parsons' brother that is talking and now backpedaling. What does Shereen Williams of Pro Football think of Pro Football Talk? Think of the drama in Dallas? We'll ask her next here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You know, last night you saw Joel Embiid drop 70 on the San Antonio Spurs. If you were playing at Underdog Fantasy last night, like me, and you had Embiid higher than 35.5, you probably had a really good night if you had that a part of your pick-em entry, which is a lot of fun to play. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real cash money, and it is legal in Texas. And to build your pick-em entry, you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they are going to go higher or lower on their stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. And again, legal in Texas. Last night, I had a couple right, and I had Trey Jones at over 6.5 assists, and he turned his ankle at 6 assists. So, you know, it wasn't all green on my pick-em entry last night. That's the fun of playing, though, because you never know, but it's certainly fun, and you can build your pick-em entry and play at Underdog Fantasy. Just download the app or go to the website, underdogfantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a special pick of higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick-em entry, which are great for this weekend's conference championship games. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Because you know you've had this couch for too long. Sure, you've had good times together, but a ripped-up cushion is not a fond memory. It's a sign. Notice how other people have couches with 2 armrests? Now that's living, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new couch. Please, it's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat $1 billion insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community when and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
And now a message from Puffs Plus Lotion Tissues. Ordinary tissues can leave you with a red nose, so choose Puffs Plus Lotion for all of your blows. Puffs have lotion to soothe sensitive skin, so you can wipe without wincing. It's a win-win. Puffs have cushiony thickness, which brings relief too, so the days of sore red noses are gone and through. When you're after soothing softness, a nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
Nachos! Yeah, your nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just gonna eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Franks. Oh, seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Yeah, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the scenic views stick around after the sun sets, and your favorite cocktails keep you company long after overtime. Where else can you unwind with bourbon and late-night bites? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you to the front of the line. We're going to hike the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minnick. A little breaking news before we get to Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. Adrian Beltre has been elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. First time on the ballot.
And well-deserved. Well-deserved.
Absolutely. And
the guy was a hell of a player.
And as I'm, Jeff Passon's tweeted out, others have. He might be the only guy going in. I haven't seen anybody else.
I haven't seen anybody else either. I saw it from WFAA when they tweeted it out just a few minutes ago. So
don't necessarily like how baseball does theirs. Not like the way the NFL or the Pro Football Hall of Fame does theirs, but that's because Shireen Williams runs that.
They're a lot smarter in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Much smarter with their voters and their process. Right, Shireen?
Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, and Todd Helton. Billy Wagner fell short for the 9th time.
Wow.
So there's your 3 Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, they do it way differently than we do, obviously.
Yeah, they do. And again, the way you guys, and I know probably next week we'll get more into it because you're going to be closer to selecting this year's class and being part of the process. Shireen Williams from ProFootballTalk.com joining us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Before we get into all that stuff, let's talk drama in Dallas. What do you make of CeeDee's mom, Dak's brother, and Micah's brother going to social media to trash Dak and the Cowboys?
Well, first thing is, if I'm a Cowboys player, I tell my family to stay off social media. No point in them being on it. It's all going to be negative after a playoff loss. Fans are going to go on there and express their disgust with the way the team played and the loss and all of that. So that would be number one. So I think it's directed at fans because fans are directing their hate at players, which we know that happens. I mean, it's not a great surprise. It happens in every market, and obviously probably a little bit more with the Cowboys, considering they are America's team. So, yeah, I would advise them to stay off of social media. Don't read their mentions. If you want to be on social media, don't read the mentions that people direct the hate at you because they can't get to your brother or your son or your whoever. So just stay off social media. That would be the advice I would give them.
You know, Shireen, it's interesting because I think Micah Parsons basically told his brother to take that down and to issue an apology. But when it comes to CD's mom, and she was very clear, this was all directed at Dak Prescott. He hasn't said anything. I don't know if that really means anything. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think it does. I mean, you know, we just had her show her frustration. She probably was frustrated with Dak Prescott. A lot of people were frustrated with Dak Prescott and the way he played. A lot of people were frustrated with Micah Parsons and whoever else. I think we talked about this. I don't think you can name one player or one coach that did a great job in that playoff loss to the Packers. Not one. I challenge you to name one because I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody on that team played up to expectations. So I just think it was frustration at the situation. I don't think he should, be required to issue any kind of statement or whatever. I think it was cool that Micah did that. And of course he's out in the media all the time, with his own podcast and all those sorts of things. So, but I don't think it's needed. And I doubt that Dak took any offense to it.
Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us here on the Blitz. We know Mike McCarthy is staying another year. Dan Quinn is still interviewing for other jobs. If he does not get one of the head coaching jobs that are still open, is he guaranteed to be back as the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, that's what's been reported. I do find it kind of hard to believe that would be the case, but considering what happened, but if you believe the reports, then he'll be back next season. So, whenever you change coaches or coordinate, you better make sure that the next one is better. And I don't know who at this point you hire who's better. Now, I think he's going to get a head coaching job, so I think it's going to take care of itself, and they are going to have to hire a new defensive coordinator for next season. Possibly he ends in Seattle. I think that would probably be the spot for him, and I do think that happens. But we'll see how this thing plays out. But yeah, I know they've already started that process of at least considering who they would hire in case Dan Quinn does go elsewhere, and they probably have a pretty good idea whether he's going elsewhere or not. So, Kellen Moore, that's the same thing played out, and they let him handle his business in the head coaching search, and then he didn't get a head coaching job, and they promptly fired him. So they've met. They know where the process stands, and I guarantee you Dan Quinn knows whether he's going to be back or not. The Cowboys know probably whether he's going to get a head coaching job or not, and if he is going to get one, then they've started that process, gone down that road of considering who they want as the next defensive coordinator.
Shireen, I know fans are fans, but and there's frustration every year, obviously, but it seems like this year there's a little bit more. And the Cowboys bringing back Mike McCarthy. If Dan Quinn comes back, what do you see this team doing? They've got a ton of free agents. Dak Prescott's contract. You got CD Lamb due for a new contract. Micah Parsons in the mix. What do you say to fans? I mean, they don't really see any light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I would say I'm right there with you. I don't see a lot of light either. I think they're in salary cap jail, and they're going to have to make a move with Dak's contract, and whether that's restructuring it. They don't have to get permission to do that. Obviously, that's built into the contract if they want to do that. But that's just going to back up that dead money down the road. And by the way, you may need a new quarterback for 2025. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to hand the reins to Trey Lance or go out and try to find somebody else? If you think he's going to be your guy long term, like, you better go ahead and extend that contract and lower that cap number and all those sorts of things, which does give you more cap flexibility to sign some of those players to big deals. But, Stephen Jones has talked about it, and Jerry's talked about it. You've got players on this team who are going to be and want to be the highest paid at their positions. So at some point, you know, there are other positions that sacrifice because of that. Like, you're just not going to be able to go out in free agency and sign a ton of guys and do some things that you might want to do. Not that that's been the Cowboys' MO anyway, but you may have to let some of your own free agents go because you're not going to be offering the money that other teams have to pay some of those free agents who are on your team that you'd really like to keep. So this is going to be a different team next year, and you know they've got a lot of work to do this offseason. I'll say that.
Well, and Mike McCarthy just says buy in, and so we should all just go with that because he just buy in. Yeah, buy in. I've got a timeshare too. I mean, because when you look, like, I do think Dak gets a new deal and extended, and everybody's gonna, scream that he hasn't earned it and all that. And you understand how it works. He's gonna make more than Joe Burrow because he's next. That's just the way it works. If I'm CeeDee Lamb, I let some of those other guys like Justin Jefferson sign his deal first, and then so I could be the highest paid. The one I'm worried about is Micah Parsons. He is eligible for a new contract this year, but if the Cowboys are what they've historically done, they will wait because they've got to pay CD and Dak. But what if Micah decides to hold out? What is the contingency plan if that happens this year? What do you think Stephen and Jerry are going to do? Because I got to believe they're anticipating a holdout from Micah Parsons.
Well, contractually, as we know from Zach Martin, he can't hold out, and he will be fined and lose money. So now maybe he wants to go down that path and force their hand. I don't know. I don't know that their hand will be forced in that one. I don't know. I don't know what they would do, and it will be interesting. I agree with you, though. I completely agree with your premise there that probably going to be CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott that get the new deals, and Micah might be left wanting for another year. And he's not going to like that, and that's not going to play real well with him, I'm sure. So you could be right. They could be headed toward that. There's no question about that, and I guess they'll deal with that at the time when it comes. But, they tried to play hardball, obviously, with Zach Martin, and it didn't quite work out for them the way that they had hoped it would work out.
It's the Dallas Cowboys, Shireen. There's always a lot of storylines to deal with, and that's what makes them so fun to cover. All right, we've got a couple of championship games this weekend, and it seems like the sentimental favorite is Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. You think they can get it done?
No, that defense really scares me, especially the secondary. And, they made enough plays the last 2 weeks to win those games, and they were at home, and that certainly helps. It's going to help a lot if Deebo Samuel can't play. He's 50-50 to play that left shoulder, and he's not going to be 100%, let's face it, if he does play. So that's going to help him because the 49ers with Deebo Samuel, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I think it's with him, they're 7.1 yards per play this season, and without him, I think it's 5.7, might be 5.6. Without him in the lineup, 0-3 without him this year. He's to me the cog of that offense. So that will help the Lions. If he doesn't play, I give him a better chance. I'm still going to pick the 49ers, and I just think that offense and that defense are totally better. The whole team is better than the Lions team. But you know what? I mean, Dan Campbell's going to be aggressive. They're going to do a lot of things that maybe are outside the box, and I'm going to give them a chance. I'm not going to pick them, but I'm certainly going to give them a chance. And I'm certainly, like most of the country and most of Texas, are rooting for them.
Absolutely. And on the AFC side, are you going with Lamar to finally get to the Super Bowl, or Patrick Mahomes is going to do Patrick things and will his team do another win?
I'm going to pick Lamar, but I think it's going to be close and come down the wire. I mean, it's always that way with Patrick Mahomes, except for the Super Bowl they played against Tampa. It comes down to the end, and I think this one will too, and I think Lamar makes a play at the end that gives them win. Maybe Justin kicks the game-winning field goal, but I think the Ravens come out of this one with the win. I think that Chiefs defense is underrated, but that Ravens defense is the real deal. I mean, you saw it against Houston last week. They're really, really good, and I just think they're going to make life difficult for some of those Kansas City Chiefs receivers who we know are not very good. Now, they had some guys step up, and it was from their standpoint good to see, like MVS step up and have a pretty good game and do some things. But they're going to need more of that this week, a lot more of that, if they're going to be able to move the ball against the Ravens.
Shireen, I've got to ask you this question before we let you go and get your thoughts. There's been a lot of talk about Josh Allen and where he stands among the quarterbacks in the NFL. What are your thoughts on Josh Allen?
Well, Ed Werder tweeted that, there'd be 31 teams aside from Kansas City that would trade for Josh Allen. I made the point of, well, I don't think the Ravens would trade for Josh Allen, and I didn't add the Texans, but I don't think the Texans would trade for Josh Allen. And who was the other team?
Kansas City. I think they're happy with their guy.
He said Kansas City. I'm missing some quarterback that's
Cincinnati,
Lamar,
maybe.
The Ravens. The Ravens, Cincinnati. That's it. I said, I don't think either one of those teams would trade for Josh Allen, but his point's a strong one. I think most of the teams in the NFL would make that trade for Josh Allen. He is that good. He's a good quarterback, but he just can't get him over the hump. And they've got to figure out whether it's coaching, whether it's the players around him, maybe the defense in front, whatever it is, they've got to figure out how to get Josh Allen over the hump. It's year after year, 6 years now, and they just can't get it done. The most wins, they've tied the record, the most wins over a 3-year stretch without getting to a Super Bowl. Tied the Saints, did the same thing, 58 regular season wins. And that's the most in the NFL since Josh Allen came into the NFL, behind only the Chiefs and the Ravens. So they have to figure out in the postseason how to get over that hump with Josh Allen, and they need to figure it out in a hurry. And if it's coaching, hey, go make a move. Go get the Bill Belichick sweepstakes. It looks like Jim Harbaugh's going to head to the Chargers, but go hire you a Bill Belichick or somebody that can get you over the hump. If you feel like it's coaching that's been missing there, because I know it's a huge disappointment to them to lose at home to the Chiefs.
It's almost like talking about the Cowboys. You talk about getting over the hump. Is Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco facing the most pressure this weekend? It seems like every year they're in the NFC Championship game, but they can't get over the hump and hoist the trophy.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think of those 4 coaches, you look at the Lions, they're probably playing with house money. The other 2 coaches have won one. Obviously Andy Reid more recently than John Harbaugh, but Harbaugh has them there every year. There's no doubt. I think you're exactly right. Kyle Shanahan has a lot of pressure on him to get there and win it this year.
Definitely. Shireen Williams, make sure you follow her on Twitter at NFL Shireen. Read her at ProFootballTalk.com. Shireen, always appreciate the time. We'll talk Hall of Fame next week.
All right. Sounds good.
Appreciate it. The great Shireen Williams, Mother Football here.
Absolutely.
On the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. You think about the 2 games this weekend. You want a place to go watch them, get into the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. I know I was in there over the weekend watching the playoffs. Place was packed. Food is fantastic. And no better place to go watch a game because of those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. And I mentioned the food being fantastic. If you want wings, they've got the biggest and best wings in town. You want a burger, they've got 15 different burgers on that menu, including the original Wemby burger. I love their fried shrimp. They've got great appetizers. Their onion rings are the best in town. Had their nachos, the Philly cheesesteak fries over the weekend. James tells me the salads there are wonderful. Take his word for it, not mine, but I've seen them. They look wonderful if you want a salad. And that kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. They have happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. And if you want to go play some poker while you're out, just walk down in the same plaza. Just down from the Rue Pub in the Angry Elephant is the brand new Big Blind. You can go in there and enjoy as well. And they've got the TVs on so you won't miss any of the game. The Rue Pub. We'll see you at the Rue.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some prize picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize Pick. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website, alawyerforus.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do. Help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. As my father told me a long time ago, insurance companies are not trying to get to heaven. They're trying to make a profit. You cannot blame a lion for being a lion. Hire a hunter to help you. That's me. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
The Aggies play here. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagel210. Tweet at me, at Jason Minix. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there. Make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel.
It's been a fun day. The Valero Texas Open Media Day this morning, and then the show, and talking with Corey Connors and Shireen Williams, ND Kalu.
Yeah, it's
been a fun day.
Yeah, but a long day, too.
Well, a little bit, but, it's almost over.
All
right. Go home. You can go to bed if you want to.
I'm not going to go home and go to bed.
Well,
I'm going to go
saying.
get something to eat. I'm hungry.
I am, too. Kevin Brock let us down today, didn't he?
Kevin Brock failed miserably.
He did.
Yeah, Big Kev.
Yeah, so, usually that guy's 100% reliable.
Money.
Yeah.
But not today.
Not today.
Because it's raining outside.
Is that it's raining?
Apparently. I don't know. I mean, say this, right? So we went to this thing this morning at TPC San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
It started at 9 o'clock. Check in at 8:30.
Right.
I got there about 8:45.
Yeah, I was there about 8:30 or so.
Were you really?
I was.
Oh, you're first in line for coffee?
8:35.
You're first in line for coffee.
It wasn't a line, but I got a cup.
Because you were first, right?
As soon as I got there, I I snagged a cup of Joe.
But Valero Texas Open has this big deal, and there's a big breakfast involved. Or breakfast.
Sure.
Breakfast. I mean,
yeah, it could be as big as you want or small as you want.
I mean, what are you upset they didn't have a chicken fried steak and gravy and ketchup for you?
That's a good suggestion for next year.
They had eggs and they had bacon, they had sausage, they had potatoes, and they had
fruit.
Like Danishes. I don't know. Was there fruit there?
There was fruit.
Maybe. I was more about the cinnamon rolls things. The donuts. So it was breakfast.
Yes.
Right? Well, by the time we left TPC San Antonio and came to work, neither one of us stopped for lunch.
No, it was what, 10:30?
Yeah, when we left. Yeah, so it's too soon for lunch.
Sure.
We just ate. And Kevin Brock, I'll get you guys lunch. Don't worry. Kevin. Yeah. Now, Joe hasn't eaten anything all show. I've at least had some peanut butter and cheese crackers.
I didn't want to spoil my dinner. I don't know what's for dinner.
I was going to say, it must be a great dinner.
I don't know.
You're geared up for.
Pledge is showing me the rubber bacon, and then he drops it on there.
And puts it back in the tray as if you're going to eat it now.
Yeah, no, I'm good, Pledge. Thanks,
it's a 5-second rule.
I'm not worried. I don't want a piece of rubber bacon.
Well,
I don't.
Well, technically, it's not rubber bacon.
Well, it is.
It's
gummy.
Like gummy, not rubber.
Which is rubber.
But it doesn't taste like bacon. It's got a fruity flavor.
Yeah.
It just looks like bacon.
Well, not really. It doesn't look like bacon.
Well, cartoon bacon.
Yes.
I mean, it came in a box that looked like a package of bacon.
Oscar Mayer.
But it's awful.
And it's not bad.
Dude, it is awful.
I just don't want it.
Pledge is trying to show the box on YouTube with the smallest screen imaginable, like anybody could see that. I highly don't recommend you rush out and buy this. It was awful.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, Pledge is eating it.
Well, I had some yesterday.
But you don't want any today?
No.
Why not?
Well, I don't want to spoil my dinner.
What's for dinner?
I don't know.
How do you know?
Whatever it is, it's going to be delicious.
You're such a newlywed.
A newlywed?
Where are you guys going?
Well, I don't know.
Are you going out or is Maggie cooking?
I don't know the answer to that yet. I will find that out in about,
18 minutes.
Something like that.
When you get in the car.
Free lettuce wraps. I brought you guys all a present today.
You did.
Sure did. That sounds delicious right now.
Actually, it does.
Lettuce wrap. Woo.
P.F. Chang's.
Uh-huh.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, P.F. Chang's is good.
Dude, and when you get their beef and broccoli with no broccoli, fantastic.
Always get the Chang's spicy chicken.
Okay.
That's what I get.
That's your go-to?
I like that.
Beef and broccoli. Their fried rice is good. They got good egg rolls, too.
Little egg drop soup, too. It's delicious.
On a cold, rainy day like this?
Perfect. I'm thinking I might suggest that.
You suggesting Chinese food?
Well, right now, I might suggest
any kind of food because you're starving.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, honey, can you heat up some Hot Pockets so they're ready as soon as I walk in the door?
Little chips and salsa, something.
I don't want to wait.
Man.
You find out she's got some sort of pot roast in the crock pot that has 2 hours left. But you can't spoil your dinner.
My Lucky Charms.
That's you're gonna get a bowl of cereal.
Hey, mate.
Actually, breakfast for dinner is not bad either.
Well, but I don't want that. I had breakfast already.
Yeah, but not for dinner.
Well, I don't want it for dinner.
I mean, you go with a good fried egg sandwich tonight.
No, I can't. I need some meat. I mean, what's in a snickerdoodle?
I mean, bacon. You add bacon on there.
I don't want bacon. I want some beef.
Some beef.
Beef.
It's what's for dinner?
Dead cow. I've always liked my meat big.
Uh-oh. See, now, I don't know if my wife is listening and texting right now as we're complaining that we haven't had lunch.
Yeah.
We're both starving. And she just texted, I'm stuck in traffic. You might have to cook. Now, for the record, when my wife texts that it's my night to cook, unless it's a weekend and we're grilling, that's our love language for we're eating whatever you decide to pick up on your way home from work.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Well, that's a good thing because you can get whatever you want.
Well, but then I'll get a text later that said, I called in the order from this place. Just stop and get it. See, and now you've been talking about Chinese food, so it's going to be Delicious Garden over there off of Redland Road.
Well, there you go.
Which is fantastic.
Okay, Delicious Garden.
Yeah, it's a good. It's
Haven't heard of that place.
I like that one.
Well, there must be, because I still want to go to that sandwich place over there. What's the name of it?
Chiba Hut.
Yeah.
It's actually right across the street from Delicious Garden.
Oh, yeah?
I will tell you how good Delicious Garden is. A little hole in the wall Chinese spot. Close to our old house. We moved, and we still go to that place.
Uh-huh.
It's because it's that good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, when you find a good place,
That's
stick with it.
That's it.
So I don't know. My wife hasn't texted me yet, but she was at work today as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So I'm guessing traffic sucks. Although
it's raining.
It's raining. Of course it does.
Of course it does.
No shocker there.
None whatsoever.
None.
Jeez.
And it's all Kevin Brock's fault.
Kevin Brock. We wouldn't be this hangry.
We are getting to the hangry point.
Well, it's a hangry point, yeah.
I mean, you should hear us during the breaks. We are getting to the hangry point while we're watching Pledge wolf down
rubber bacon.
Yes. Which at this point I still wouldn't eat. I'm not that hungry yet because that was awful. Awful. Almost as bad as watching the Spurs last night. Yet we celebrate the fact that they lose by 10 while allowing Joel Embiid to score 70 last night.
Basically.
Well, he scored when he wanted, and he scored within the flow of their offense. I mean, last night was an incredible night for scoring. Karl-Anthony Towns, he got in trouble because he was trying to get to a franchise record. He was trying to get their franchise record, and their coach, Chris Finch, not at all happy with his star player.
And there's lots of times when just because you've scored 2 or 3 or 4 points in a row or baskets in a row, it doesn't, obviously we're going to try to feed a hot hand, look for a hot hand. But at some point, we got to get back to making the right play. We got to get back to doing the right things. That's just, like I said, there's a lot of ways to be immature. There's always a lot of ways to be immature. And there was a lot of immature performances here throughout the roster. We totally disrespected the game ourselves. And we got exactly what we deserve. So,
Chris, did you also see, did it turn into Karl trying to hunt like a big number?
Yeah, but for a while, it was going. But down the stretch, we kind of dried up for us. But yeah.
And they lost the game to Charlotte, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's why you understand so individual records can never take precedence over team goals.
No.
They can't. And that's what happens.
And you think about Embiid last night, scored 70 within the flow of the offense.
But his team won. So
his team won. But again, it was still within the flow of the offense.
Yes.
And afterwards, he said, Wemby's the kind of player that ultimately could score 100 at some point. The question, though, is, he's got to play enough minutes to be able to get there.
Exactly.
He is still on this minutes restriction because of the ankle injury. Let's talk about it with Dr. Josh Bell. Time for our injury update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at TSAOG.com. Dr. Bell on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Doc, when you think about the length of time now, it's been several weeks that Wemby has been on a minutes restriction. Medically, what would be the reason why at this point?
Too skinny.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
No,
I don't. There's not. I think we talked about it at the beginning of the year. Just looking at his frame and looking at the frame of the guys he's going against, and just his age. He's got to grow into that body. So, everything you do with him, I think, is just an abundance of caution. He is. A lot of people think the future of the league. And so, the Spurs aren't making the playoffs. It'd be best to have a better draft pick at the end. So I think there's a lot of reasons to keep him on the bench or at least limit his time, especially if there's any question marks. There's not a real medical reason that you can think of because, I think, overall he's doing well when he's out there, and he doesn't look restricted. It's just they're playing the same old game of trying to protect a player and kind of get him into shape and get him into the right frame of mind for an NBA body, I think.
But Dr. Bell, when you look at it, and I'm a little concerned by this, and everything you said makes a lot of sense. But when you're dealing with a kid who is 7 foot, I don't know, 4, 3.5, whatever he is today, there's kind of a history with that, isn't there?
100%. I mean, you look at guys that are of that size. You look at Yao Ming. You look at Bill Walton. You look at a lot of players that are at that size. There's just, I talk about it all the time with patients. There are limits to human performance, and they're just limits. I mean, what if he was 8 feet tall? What would that do to his joints? How would that affect the arch of his foot? Because you look at Yao Ming and Bill Walton, they both had kind of these foot fractures were at least a part of their injury that limited their career. And I think, anytime you're dealing with these kind of extreme height, patients, players with extreme height, I think there's an additional concern that we just don't have enough great evidence to say, hey, this is the perfect way to treat these guys. This is the perfect way to strengthen these guys. So I think they're just trying to be cautious with them. And, I don't know that we know the answer yet, to be honest.
No, Dr. Bell and the foot issue is obviously concerned with everybody that's tall like that. But because he turned his ankle, and I know that they're connected, even though I didn't go to medical school, right? But is the ankle concern more about the ankle or that leading to a foot issue?
Yeah, these teams nowadays, they have so many metrics that they can look at just in terms of how they have foot plate designs that they can see how they push off, where they're pushing off on their foot. So it could be that they're seeing something in the way he's responding to some of the treatments that they don't really love. They kind of see that the strength of the ankle isn't what they expect. One thing that they have is they have data on like how quickly a player can move laterally throughout the game, so they can see, after a certain injury, he moves a little bit slower laterally to the right or to the left. And so they may be seeing some data that they don't love and say, hey, we got to spend more time rehabbing this. So I don't know all the information, but that's at least they have enough data that they could make some determination about like his rehab, but that foot impact force, the ankle force, and just seeing all the things that can happen in a body of that length. I think that makes everybody nervous. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, no, me too, Doc. That's for sure. All right, big game, NFC Championship game this Sunday. The San Francisco 49ers need Deebo Samuel to play. He's 50-50. I guess x-rays were negative. He didn't break anything, but that's still a shoulder issue. How much of a problem can that be?
Yeah, I was reassured. It sounded like he wanted to come back, but I think he's a gamer anyway. It sounded like some of the reports I read, he was like, I can come back second half. So that certainly gives you a little bit of, extra, the idea that he's going to come back and make it a game. I mean, if you're not going to come back for NFC Championship, what game would you come back for? Certainly Super Bowl will be the next one. But I think it's when they're saying 50-50 this early in the week, I feel pretty confident. There's nothing in any of the reports that said he's ruled out, and he's a tough guy. I mean, and he's an important part of that team. So I think he's going to play to some level. I hope it's well enough because he's a fantastic player.
I kind of want Detroit, but when you think about Deebo with that shoulder injury, and he had a shoulder injury earlier in the year, and he missed 3 games because of that, and they had the bye week in there. If he is able to go, how limited will he be with? You're talking about a shoulder injury, like his catch radius. I mean, will he be limited if he's out there?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. I mean, it'll be interesting if he is in there, how much they use him and how much he's a decoy, because they'll know a lot more than what they're telling. Just like when they say lower extremity injury or whatever, they kind of shade the truth a little bit about exactly what's happening. But I think that's definitely going to be a factor for him no matter what. Even if he's a quote unquote go, he's going to have a shoulder that he's probably not going to want to land on. It's going to be a shoulder that's going to be a little hard to reach out to get a ball that's kind of not right in the breadbasket. So, we'll see. I think the reports so far are more positive towards him playing than not. But there's still plenty of time before the game.
Dr. Josh Bell, always appreciate the knowledge and insight, my friend.
All right, good to see you.
Good stuff. Dr. Josh Bell with the injury update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at TSAOG.com.
That's going to be huge to watch as we go through the week for San Francisco.
Could Debo end up just being a runner?
Could be.
I mean, not necessarily play him at wide receiver, like Doc said, as a decoy or short passes.
Yeah, because anything that he's going to have to reach up for probably is going to be an issue. So,
going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Extra innings with Pledge coming up next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, if you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, your heater this time of year, you know, the only company to call is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-65